Edmonton Sports Talk. My God, I love this.
My name's Jay Milne. #Blue.
Our sports update deliverer, the Coon.
I'm Zachary Dubish, and you're up today. You know what, Reid? You might be honest.
All right, here's what's going on in the Nasty Cup.
Oh, here we go. Yeah, exciting day today. The Mark Kilam Show will debut today at 5 o'clock. The head coach of the Edmonton Elks will join us every Tuesday at 5 throughout the CFL regular season. Live, Jay and I talking to him. You can submit your questions as well. 780-218-9999. River Cree Resort and Casino inbox. Throw them in the Nasty Chat on YouTube. Awesome opportunity for us here on this show and at Edmonton Sports Talk to have exclusive access to the coach Tuesdays at 5. The Mark Kilam Show debuting this afternoon. A lot to talk about with the Green and Gold. They went through the preseason with a win and a loss. We'll talk about some of the roster cuts they had to make. You know what I want to know, Jay? Because I have talked to other coaches about this over the years, and some guys will handle it differently from others. How do you handle cutting somebody? Like does and in a sport like football where the rosters are large, sometimes the position coach might handle some of it. Sometimes it's the head coach. Sometimes it's the head coach and the position coach together. Mm-hmm. I would imagine something that even for veteran coaches, it's probably one of the worst parts of the job.
I would imagine as well.
So I want to ask him about that. We'll have some other specific things, and we want to look ahead to Saturday's game, the first game of the season in Ottawa against the Red Blacks. That's going to be a 5 o'clock game on Saturday. We will have, by we I mean Edmonton Sports Talk, because I don't actually have to work it, the Green and Gold kickoff show with Matt Owanek and Jason Milne. That's going to be 4 o'clock, right? You're always going to be on an hour before the game.
Yeah.
And then you hop on right after the game for the Green and Gold post-game show. Yeah. Now, this is a road game, so you guys will be here. But now for home games, when we get there in a couple of weeks and beyond, you're going to be at the stadium.
You know it.
So that's going to be really cool. So we got you covered here for the Elks season as they try to get, have a good start and then hopefully eventually get back into the postseason. So the Mark Kilam Show coming up 5 o'clock today. The Stanley Cup Final starts tonight. Carolina home to the Vegas Golden Knights. We'll talk about that. It's going to be fun to have this guy on the show in a bit. Michael Chan is the new GM of the Edmonton Oil Kings. He'd been with the organization for a few years. Sort of I guess a fixture in the Edmonton hockey community. He was away for a while, and we want to talk. And I've known Michael a while, but kind of one of those guys you see around the rink, but yeah, there's often not time to have like a long conversation with. So I'm looking forward to putting him in the spotlight on the show. I know he probably doesn't want to be in the spotlight, but I think today it's appropriate. Mm-hmm. And I kind of want to get his story because I think he's one of the maybe he's just a bit of a rink rat, like hockey, liked being around players, like learning about scouting and analytics and putting teams together and developing players. And now he's got a great opportunity as the GM of the Oil Kings. So Michael Chan is going to join us. Shawn Belle will be on the show, our colleague here at Edmonton Sports Talk. And as I mentioned, Mark Kilam at 5. So we have a lot to get through. The Norris Trophy was awarded today to Zach Werenski of the Blue Jackets. I don't think a huge surprise. They released the voting. It turns out Evan Bouchard of the Oilers was 4th. We knew he wasn't in the top 3 because he wasn't a finalist, so he finishes 4th. We'll dive into that. Oh, the match last night. 2-0. Canada over Uzbekistan. I was lucky. I watched from the rain-free comfort of my living room. Good to see Canada get the win. I thought they played really well. I know there's a lot of talk about the goaltending. Both goalkeepers made a couple good saves along the way. Really, I thought the second goal especially was like a really nice goal. Like Canada created the turnover, went in, couple passes for the shot. So good. And now their Friday, is it Friday in Montreal against Ireland?
Yeah.
It's their final, not a tune-up game, a send-off game.
Well, this is part of the send-off series.
Part of the send-off series. So they can be sent off to Toronto and Vancouver from Edmonton and Montreal.
Yeah, they're being sent away. They are being sent off.
They're being sent off for the World Cup. Right. It is a different competition.
Quick aside.
Yes.
Did you, from last night's game, did that maybe prep you emotionally? I won't say physically, but with your eyes. Was it an eye test to just get ready to the amount of tripping and falling in soccer or football?
Well, it was a slippery field, Jay. It had rained.
That's no excuse.
That's part of the sport.
Yeah. Sure is.
I don't. We know that that's part of soccer. Now, my dear mother, who's a big sports fan but hasn't watched a lot of soccer in her life, but the World Cup's in Canada. There was a game in Edmonton last night.
Sure.
So she said, "Boy, they sure stay down a lot, don't they? They sure roll around." And I'm like, "Yes, sometimes they do, Mom."
Yeah, and I understand. It's part of the game.
Part of the game. It's got to be painful to get kicked on the shin.
Yeah. Like, there are instances where it would be. But, yeah. It was a good exhibition for me to just look at it and say, oh, okay, yeah, right. I'm now into it again.
Yeah.
I see what I've been missing all these 4 years.
What? You don't like the flopping?
No, I don't like it. I think it's terrible. But now, do I understand that that's part of the game of soccer?
Right.
Sure.
Well, I don't
But
think
that doesn't mean I have to accept it or like it.
I think when a player is tripped, he's tripped.
Sure.
But the culture is not get up and walk it off. The culture is
oh my gosh, is he going to be able to walk ever again?
right.
That is thing, but it's okay. But like I said, does that mean I have to say, "Oh, Jay, that's a part of the game of soccer. You in order to appreciate this game, you must love that aspect of it." No. And look, NFL, CFL, I love that sport. I love football. Do I love that every time you touch a quarterback, it's a penalty? No, I hate it.
Right.
It's a part of the game, Jay. I hate it. I don't have to like every aspect of a game.
Yeah. Well, I'm excited for the World Cup. Like I like, as you know, I like tournaments. I mean, like for example, when this new CFL playoff format came out, I was like, that's the McIntyre system. I knew exactly what that was. So I like tournaments. I like, which third place teams are going to make it. And then really, if Canada what city are they going to play in? Well, they could go here. They could go here. They could actually play the States,
right.
I like stuff like that. It's cool that for us, there's going to be games on during the day for several weeks.
Yeah, well, we're going to have it on the
Arthur
TV.
Games like noon games, 1 o'clock games, Mountain Time. I think there might even be some noon Eastern games that we're going to get at like 10 or something like that.
Well, I think Canada's game.
They're at 1, aren't they?
Yeah, I
think the first one's at 1. So I am looking forward to the World Cup. I hope Canada does well because like I'm of the age where like they made the World Cup in '86. That was a big deal. And then they expanded the World Cup, I think, was it either 94 or 98? And Canada usually was that third CONCACAF team. And then they expanded the World Cup, and CONCACAF got 3 teams. And it was like, well, now Canada's always going to get in. And then we sucked. Then we got worse. So now it's nice we actually have, 30th in the world is not bad.
No, nothing to scoff at.
That's respectable. So I'm looking forward to that.
I was, just to put a button on last night's soccer game, well, for now, it was really cool to see Commonwealth Stadium full like that. And especially being here in Edmonton, knowing the weather situation, how bad it was, to see the stadium was, it wasn't jam-packed, but it sure looked good on TV, didn't it?
Yeah, it looked good. It's funny because I texted with Andre a little bit during the game, and he goes, I said, Commonwealth looks pretty good despite the rain. He goes, yeah, it looks awesome. He said FIFA was never going to go there, but he goes, they should have gone there.
Well, it's funny because Hustler was saying on the Lock Shop today that Edmonton is the place that always shows out, like our young colleague Benny just said, for Canada soccer events.
Yeah.
Yet, when the biggest light in the soccer world is shone on Canada, Edmonton wasn't even in the conversation.
And I think I'm trying to remember because we did bid, but I think the bid said that Edmonton had to host at least 5 games. And I think, I know that I think there's kind of one camp of people that says, well, the provincial government set the bid up to fail by making a demand of FIFA. They're like, well, we'll make a bid, but we know we're going to lose. Well,
Okay.
Whereas other people, I think Jay's argument is like FIFA was never going to pick Edmonton.
Right.
Nobody, you don't say Edmonton to someone in Beijing, China, and they know where it is, but they know where Toronto and Vancouver are, I guess. I don't know. But like how would Commonwealth look compared? Apparently the scaffolding in Toronto, the temporary seating, is nothing to write home about. So anyway, Edmonton did a great job.
You going to address that? I don't know.
I don't think there's anything to address.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not sure what that means.
Well, for those wondering, the Da4414 in the nasty chat says, hello, I'm just letting you know that I'm not playing with you anymore, CFL Fantasy, because the Edmonton Sports Talk and Winnipeg Sports Talk team don't understand what I'm saying.
Well, okay.
Sorry. I must have missed an email or a message. I know you were talking with me last week, and I said I only have time for one fantasy league, and that's the one that I'm
we're
a part
doing
of
one
here.
just with employees.
Hopefully. Yeah. Fingers crossed it gets off the ground. TBD, bro.
Yeah, we're going to try to find a time to draft tomorrow. Okay, 780-218-9999 is how you can text us. That is the afternoon inbox presented by River Cree Resort and Casino, which is turning 20 this year. So why not celebrate until October 26th? Over $1 million in prizes. This is an incredibly huge promotion. Again, going on until October 26th, rivercreeresort.com. You can post in the nasty chat. That's the chat stream going on YouTube. Did you lose your pen?
I lost it on the walk over.
Go get it. Go get it while I talk. You can post in the nasty chat on YouTube. If you are on YouTube, subscribe to Edmonton Sports Talk if you haven't already. And of course, hammer that thumbs up button. Give us a like.
Click, click, click. Must you click? Please, please click. Must you click? You must click. Thumb, thumb, thumb.
All right. And you can email Reid at edmontonsportstalk.com, Jay at edmontonsportstalk.com. We love getting limericks from people. And today's limerick topic will be references to Carolina and Vegas. However, wherever you want to go with that. Okay, it doesn't have to be hockey related. References to Carolina and Vegas.
Some are calling it the barbecue versus casino series.
Real? I did not see that.
Some by
Is that you? Is that are you some?
We talked about this last week.
Some would suggest. Some are calling it. By that I mean me. I wanted. Oh, you know what? The NHL. We'll maybe talk about this in buying or selling, but I want to get it out there because it's relatively new news. Came out in the last hour. So the All-Star Weekend in the National Hockey League this coming season, February 5th and 6th.
Long Island.
New format. 5 teams, Canada, Finland, Sweden, U.S., and the world in a 3-on-3 round-robin exhibition tournament. So each team will play 4 5-minute games. So, for example, the schedule, Canada, USA, Sweden, Finland, the world against the States. So those are all going to be, there's going to be 11 5-minute games, 10 round-robin games, and then a final, which will be a 10-minute game for $2 million American. The NHL and the NHLPA will select 30 players from each of the participating teams for a fan vote. From that list, fans will select 8 players, and then the remaining 3, a forward, a defenseman, and a goalie, will be chosen by the NHL and the PA. So 11 players per team.
Mm-hmm.
I don't mind this. I mean, it's the All-Star Weekend. Jazz it up. Have fun.
Well,
show me skill. Just go to town.
Sure.
I don't mind at all.
Yeah. It's another All-Star game.
Yeah, I mean, at least it's something.
The All-Star games are not what they used to be, right? And I don't even think, Reid, that's just me yelling at the clouds saying, oh, the good old days. I mean, it used to be the good old days with All-Star games. The NBA Slam Dunk Contest used to be a thing.
Right.
And now the skills competition, not that this is necessarily a bad thing, but the skills competition isn't even open to all the players in the NHL or that make the All-Star game. You have to be 25 years of age or younger for the skills competition.
Right. That's
right?
different. Yeah.
That's different. I don't mind this. You know, it'll be quick. It'll be in and out of
go
games,
do it. Get to it.
I have a bigger issue with this All-Star game, and we'll get into it for buying or selling.
We can do that a little bit later on for sure. Michael Chan at 3:40, Shawn Belle at 4:20, the Mark Kilam Show at 5 o'clock. Those are our guests today, and plenty of discussion and fun segments Coming up, it is the afternoon headlines presented by 100.3 The Bear, Edmonton's best rock. Stream them on iHeart today. This is Chet Palmer with your sports report. Canada put up a clean sheet against Uzbekistan. My brother-in-law hasn't seen a clean sheet since he spent a night at the Ritz. Windy Kids against the Jousters in the Cup Final. I told my brother-in-law about Hannafin, and he said, hand me a fin. I need to bet on red. The coaches are Torts and Rod the Bod. Hey, Jason Milne, is that a fiery motivator in your pocket, or are you just happy to see me? I'm Chet Palmer. You okay?
The Windy Kids against the Jousters. I don't recall Chet referring to the Vegas Golden Knights as the Jousters.
That might be new. I don't know. I don't know what he's called them in the past.
Yeah, I like it. My brother-in-law hasn't seen a clean sheet since he spent a night at the Ritz. Oh, hand me a fin. I need to be on red.
That's a 5. He's got a bet on red.
That's a fin, a 5, yeah. Is Torts a fiery motivator?
Sure, why not?
I think Rod the Bod is.
I think Torts could be pretty fiery.
I think Torts is fiery.
Is he a
Maybe
motivator?
Sans motivator.
Well, anyway, that's how Chet sees it.
Casino Dealer Jay. I've heard Chet refer to them as the Jousters.
Oh, good.
Okay.
Well, that's very good. 780-218-9999 is the River Cree Resort and Casino inbox. All right. I'll tee you up for this one, buddy. This is your idea. It's a good one. And it is the off-topic topic for William Huff. Since 1952, William Huff has provided industry-leading advertising solutions for thousands of valued clients. Their unparalleled customer service, combined with decades of industry expertise and a desire to make every job the very best can be, is what they call the William Huff Advantage. Visit their website at williamhuff.com or give them a shout, 780-454-4536. They are outstanding. You will not be disappointed.
Well, I saw, I think over the weekend in Palm Springs, there was over 100 people that gathered dressed like Marilyn Monroe because yesterday would have been her 100th birthday.
Okay.
Marilyn Monroe. So I thought, I never obviously saw Marilyn Monroe, certainly not live. I wouldn't know of any of the movies that she was a part of. Was she more of an actor or actress or a singer?
No, actress for sure.
Actress, okay. Because I remember the president.
Did she
Happy
perform?
Birthday
Yeah,
song.
well, that's true. Yes,
right. I mean, that's
pretty well known. Yeah.
Anyways, the off-topic topic today for William Huff: a dead celebrity you wish you could see play or perform live.
Okay, so we're not counting somebody that we wish we could have been around when their movies came out. That doesn't count. This is a live performer.
No, a celebrity. Like, my first thought when I came up with this is Elvis.
Right.
Like, I would love to see Elvis in his prime, shaking it and doing all those things. And
right.
But I don't think this is strictly musicians.
But I'm saying a film is not live. I could watch a film with a young Humphrey Bogart or Gary Cooper or Marilyn Monroe.
So give me an example of one that you think like that might fit your bill that you may not think I described here.
Well, it would have been neat, like a movie stars before. It's more like I'm going to the new John Wayne film in the 50s or 60s or whatever. You know,
just being alive
for the hype of the peak of their popularity, I suppose.
Even though you could still go and find that movie online today.
Yeah.
I'll take that.
Or there's a new, for a director, like there's a new Hitchcock. Like I'm going to see Psycho opening weekend.
Okay, we can expand. Reid, we're not, we don't have closed minds here.
No, we certainly don't.
Now,
We certainly
what
don't.
if we were alive during the time of their life, but weren't able to actually see them as well?
Yeah, all things
Well, you
count.
said dead celebrity.
Okay.
Like dead
or athlete.
But like if you were to say, so then would this fit? Because for your example, no.
How about a Norm Macdonald live?
Exactly.
That's a good one.
That's a
why
great
not?
one.
Yeah,
That
that's a
would
good
be
one for sure.
Spectacular.
Live.
Robin Williams.
That's right there.
Robin Williams, incredible. Yeah.
Timber Woodsman said Freddie Mercury. I mean, that's gonna come up a lot. Nolan from St. Albert, John Bonham.
Oh, yeah.
How about a quick Michael Jackson?
Well, that's what Vincenzo said as
Jasmine's
well.
got it in there as well. Yeah, I think of, but again, movies is not performing live. But what would have been like to be there when, there was the new, like I said, oh, Hitchcock's got this new movie, like it's called Psycho. Maybe I'll go see it. What's that going to be like?
Shakespeare's got this new play.
Like that. That's a good one, Coop. Well, and that was live.
Yeah, exactly.
Shakespeare's works would be a good one.
Oh, for sure. What
about the old the very first Olympic Games in 770 BC?
Oh.
Right.
Now,
I'd like to see
They competed in the nude.
Sure.
I'm so excited I can hardly say it.
Now, I guess they were celebrities of that time.
Yeah.
Yes.
True enough. Or watching Gladiators.
Oh.
Yeah, something like that.
Right? I mean, look at us go, Reid. See? Don't close your minds, people.
First
Allow
one that
the
came to
expressions
mind.
to come out.
So, I mean, one who only passed away a couple of years ago now at this point, maybe not even that long ago. A metal, I guess, god, like a hero for sure, Ozzy Osbourne. I was set to go see him in 2020. Of course, we all know what happened there. He was supposed to come here in July, postponed the tour, and then rebooked it, and unfortunately was not able to show, so I never had the chance to see him whatsoever. But in his prime, Ozzy Osbourne would have been a showstopper.
And I think this for musicians would be my number 2. Would be Stevie Ray Vaughan, like Abutski said.
Baby.
Stevie Ray Vaughan, Abutski says, I was an adult when he played here at the Jew, but didn't go due to poverty / lameness. Sorry.
All right. So that's a good one. Yeah, I think I'd go back to the first Olympic Games in 8th century BC. I'm on a website, historynewsnetwork.com. There are indisputable records going back to Athenian philosopher Plato in the 5th century BC and even Homer's Iliad, as well as many explicit drawings that confirm it was common practice for all male track and field athletes to take part naked. This includes the often dangerous sports of discus throwing, wrestling, boxing, and horse racing without protective clothing. The only exception seems to have been for charioteers who wore long white tunics. Well, because you got to keep track of what you're whipping the horse with. What? All right. 780-218-9999 is the River Cree Resort Casino. What's the matter, Jay?
Nothing. That is just brilliant. It was such a good joke. I love it.
Well, I don't know.
They keep coming in, Reid. Winnipeg Kev says Kurt Cobain.
Oh, yeah.
Right? This is the second time I've seen this, but Luke in Cowtown says Robin Williams.
Yes.
And this one here from Logan Crawford says Robin Williams and his joke on how the Scottish created golf.
Yeah, that's a great
That was
joke.
a good
Yeah.
joke, yeah.
That was a great set.
How about a little bit of Jimi Hendrix?
Sure.
Why not?
All along the Watchtower.
Go to Seattle and see that? Whew. Maybe a little bit of a Woodstock?
I don't know if Kurt Cobain would make the top 10 for me.
It depends on what performance, though. Is MTV like unplugged when
Yeah,
he's
but
got
I
the
wouldn't
guitar
have liked
sitting
that.
there?
I wouldn't
Okay.
have. Oh, no. Oh, the Unplugged. Sorry.
Oh, yes.
I
Yeah,
thought you
yeah,
meant
yeah.
the other ones where they were just disruptive on purpose and they were trying to be
Different.
bad.
Yeah. Trying to get
Youth.
taken off air. Yeah.
Bad
yeah.
youth. Keep them coming in. 780-218-9999.
All right. We will have the Oil Understood with new Oil Kings general manager Michael Chan in about 15 minutes. That'll be fun to talk to him. Belzy's going to check in at 4:20. The Mark Kilam Show, the premiere edition, is at 5 o'clock this afternoon. Here comes the Coob.
Game 1 of the Stanley Cup Final opens tonight from Raleigh. 6 o'clock puck drop. Hurricanes hosting the Golden Knights. Carter Hart, the expected starter for Vegas. Frederick Anderson likely to go in between the pipes for Carolina. From Music City, the Predators have hired Avalanche general manager Chris McFarland as their new president of hockey operations and GM. With the move, Colorado president Joe Sakic assumes GM duties for the Avs. Elsewhere, Zach Werenski of the Blue Jackets has won his first Norris Trophy, being crowned as the NHL's top defenseman in the regular season. Over to the CFL, the Elks have signed national defensive back Tyshawn Blackburn to the practice roster. The former Golden Bear won the Grey Cup with the Argos in 2024. In baseball, the Jays Braves beginning 3-game set just after 5 o'clock. Kevin Gausman on the mound for the Birds. Bryce Elder countering for the Braves. And for the Riverhawks, they're out in Victoria against the Harbor Cats. First pitch at 7:35. Catch the full game on our audio streams right here on EST. Find the full broadcast schedule at edmontonsportstalk.com. This sports update is brought to you by Windsor Plywood Leduc, locally owned and operated, serving Leduc and surrounding areas since '93. They have doors, flooring, baseboards, and of course, they have plywood. Go see the knowledgeable staff today at Windsor Plywood Leduc. The conversation continues here on the Reid Wilkins Show. Following the break, I'm Zachary Kubish, keeping you in the loop.
Two guys and a goalie.
I always find it interesting when a soccer goalie gets beaten 5-hole. Because wasn't the first Canadian goal kind of like I know it's easy for me to say sitting here in the heated studio.
Is a goalie in football scoring 5-hole? Is that the equivalent of like the Michigan?
Two guys and a goalie, presented by GS Construction. Tuesday and Thursday afternoons at noon, only on Edmonton Sports Talk. Your clear choice for Edmonton sports.
We have what you're looking for. GD Liquidators is Edmonton's one-stop shop for new and used warehouse, office, and industrial items since 1987. You'll find what you want when you want it. Give us a call, visit us in-store, or check out the monthly auctions at gdliquidators.com. 100% Canadian owned and operated. We have what you are looking for. GD Liquidators.
River Cree Resort and Casino and K97 proudly present Prism and Alba Nova. May 29th in the venue. Tickets at rivercreeresort.com.
River Cree Resort and Casino. Excitement. Bet on it.
GCL Diesel has been serving oil country since 1972. From diesel cars to SUVs to pickups. From farm tractors to school buses to a big rig. From diesel generators to forklifts, GCL can test, troubleshoot, and repair all diesel fuel system components. Whether it's injectors, pumps, turbos, filters, or additive, GCL has the parts you need to keep your diesel running the way it should. For genuine diesel parts at wholesale prices, visit GCL Diesel in the West End or online at gcldiesel.com. GCL Diesel. Diesel understood.
The Canadian Brewhouse has a happy hour for any scenario. You finished work early? Happy hour. You finished work because you accidentally hit reply all to the entire company? Big happy hour. Your boss said great job. Happy hour. Your boss said per my last email. Ugh. Emergency happy hour. You finally closed the big deal. Happy hour. With a huge selection of ice cold drinks and great food, the Canadian Brewhouse has a happy hour for whatever just happened at work. The Canadian Brewhouse. Your day just got happier.
When you bet with Play Alberta, you give back to Alberta. That's because it's the only app in the province that puts all revenue directly back into supporting programs and services that Albertans rely on every day. So next time you place a wager on your favorite team, know that you're also making a difference across the province through Alberta's General Revenue Fund. Visit playalberta.ca/EST to learn more. That's playalberta.ca/EST. Must be 18 plus. If you gamble, use your game sense.
Thanks a lot for tuning in this afternoon. We're in the Canadian Brewhouse studio. Now, tomorrow, we're getting the wing flavor of the month brought in for us to try. This is incredible. The June wing flavor of the month.
Are we going to announce it live tomorrow?
Well, it's on their website.
Okay.
It is public knowledge.
Okay.
So I think we can say it.
All right.
Maui pineapple. Flame grilled wings tossed in a sweet and tropical Maui pineapple sauce.
I'm excited.
I think I will like this. I don't mind. I say I generally like pineapple flavor stuff.
Me too.
If it's not overwhelming, but I think that'll be pretty neat. Canadian Brewhouse Studio, the June flavor of the month.
I think it's going to be fantastic.
I'm looking forward to it.
Sweet, tangy, and tropical condiment, perfect for glazing ribs, chicken, or seafood.
Yeah. So there we go.
Sign us up.
We're in the Canadian Brewhouse Studio. That is going to be fun. Pat Ketty from the Brewhouse was in on the hangout earlier today. I don't think he's bringing us the wings, but there will be somebody from the Brewhouse bringing us the wings, and we're going to eat them. We're going to eat them a lot. How did you ever get to do this at the furniture store?
I ate live.
Fed?
Yeah.
You ate while you're doing sales.
Sometimes you had to.
Yeah, I guess you would. Yeah.
Reid, when we were closing our shop, we had pretty serious sales. And I know for those of you that listen to this show regularly,
like 80% off.
You know what I think about sales. They're often not true sales.
Right.
These were, because we just wanted to get rid of this stuff. Like, let us, move on with our lives. Help us. And there were days, Reid, that I literally couldn't leave the desk. I'd have people lined up saying, and I'd just write them in, because we hand wrote every invoice.
Okay.
Nothing was done on computer till the day we closed shop.
Oh, wow.
And what do you want? And my brother would be like, Jay, they want this. They want the pearl. Okay. Write them up. Take your money. Okay. We'll get and at the end of the day, we'd have 50, 60 invoices.
Okay.
Sometimes even upwards. We got close to 100 one day. Like, you cannot write that fast.
Yeah.
And then you'd have to go through and book all these deliveries and.
Did some people pick it up on, or did it always have to be
if you had a
delivered?
truck, nope, you're out the back
you just
door.
take it right away.
We had just people standing by with wheelers, dollies, ready to go, because we brought all of our warehouse to the store
warehouse
every
was
day.
empty. Okay.
Well, no, we kept using our store as a storefront to empty our warehouse.
Oh, okay.
So every day we'd bring truck after truck after truck of product from our store.
Now, did you sell absolutely everything?
Everything.
You just stayed open until you closed it all.
We sold the forklifts. We sold the pallet
No
jacks.
way.
We sold the ladders. We sold, you name it, we sold it. I even had a garage sale at our warehouse. It's just like, give me an offer. Like,
Yes, what do you want? Yeah.
Because I had to watch myself from saying, because otherwise it's just going to the dump. So at least you'd get something.
They're not like, I'll give you a penny then. Yeah. Well, there are no pennies. I have to give you a nickel.
There's penny farthings. Isn't that a bike of some
It
sort?
is a penny farthing bike. I think it's the one big wheel and the one small wheel. Isn't
the
it?
old timey bike.
Yeah. I think Chet has one in his garage.
He probably does.
He's going to sell someday.
Why wouldn't you just go with the two little wheels so you didn't have to climb a ladder?
There
to
must
get
have
on?
been some mystique to being up above the crowd.
The bigger
You
the
could
wheel,
see where
the
you're
more
going.
wealth you had.
Maybe it was a status symbol.
It was a status symbol.
Yeah. Well, what's that big wheel making up for? That's what we say about sports cars now, right? 780-218-9999. The off-topic topic for William Huff. Name a deceased celebrity or athlete. We're doing athlete as well?
Oh, yeah. We're really
that you wish you could have seen play or perform live. I'm going back to the ancient Olympics in the 8th century. I don't know the names of any of them. I just would have liked to see that happen.
I really like this. I think you'll like this as well, Reid. Hampton Steve says, I would want to see John Belushi and many of the since deceased original members of SNL perform at Second City in Chicago.
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah.
Dean and Medicine Hat, Chester Bennington of Lincoln Park. I had 2 tickets in 2015 in Edmonton, but they canceled due to a throat infection. Never got to see him.
Oh, no. Okay.
Timber Woodsman says James Brown was supposed to play a show in Edmonton and died before the show.
Oh, I don't remember that. That's too bad.
This is a couple people. Collingwood Rob has also said this, but William Mike Spear. Hey, guys, Bon Scott from AC/DC.
Oh,
wasn't he the original singer?
Yeah.
What's the new lead singer of AC/DC?
Brian Johnson.
Brian Johnson.
It's like he's got the most plain name for a rock and roll.
Have you seen some of his old stuff?
Like, didn't they think he was having like spasms on stage or something like that?
Well, I've seen some stuff. It's like KC and the Sunshine Band. Like, it's like pop music for the time.
Oh, is it really? Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah, it was not hard rock.
Interesting.
Vincenzo. This is a good one. Notorious B.I.G.
Oh, okay. Yeah. These are all good ones.
Also Tupac, I guess, in that mix. They were contemporaries.
He'd have to be.
Portions of this hour presented by Lamley's. Built for the job, made with quality craftsmanship and designed for job protection with cowboy-worthy durability. Lamley's workwear combines safety with all-day comfort, featuring brands like Ariat Work and Wrangler Rigs, designed to withstand tough conditions and deliver performance across every job site. Visit lamleys.com to see how Lamleys can help make your workday better.
LAMMLES.
Yeah, I mean, if we're including athletes in this, Babe Ruth, see him actually hit a home run, and then just being in the old ballparks and seeing the field and the gloves, and I'm going to go check out this new Fenway place.
Right.
Or whatever. I guess you could go a lot with athletes. This is a sports show.
I'm just, to me, the only athlete that immediately stands out would be Kobe Bryant.
I got to see him play a game live in his last season.
Where?
At the Staples Center.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Lucky you.
Yeah, the Lakers were not good. All the crowd wanted was to see Kobe score. I think he got 10 points in the game or something. They just wanted him to shoot all the time, which he had no problem doing.
No.
Though he didn't play as much as he did earlier in his career.
Huh.
Yeah, but I didn't see him in his prime. I'm trying to think something not just, and I don't have a problem with the people who are doing it, but going back more than 40 years. Going back before my lifetime,
I would have loved to see what I and some others think is one of the greatest athletes of all time. Secretariat run.
Oh,
at
yeah.
the Kentucky Derby.
Yeah, go to that.
Or Secretariat winning the Triple Crown.
Yeah. Whew. That's a good one. There's Seabiscuit. Yeah.
Yeah, that would be lovely.
The match race against War Admiral. Yeah, those are, there's a lot. I like the jump. So Marilyn Monroe would have been 100 today.
Yesterday.
Okay.
Yeah. June 1st, 1926.
Amazing.
What was she most known for? Her acting?
Yeah, she wasn't really a singer. I know she sang that to Kennedy. When you go on her wiki page, she's described as an actress and model. Was she not the first centerfold in Playboy, I believe? So she was a sex symbol, right? Known for playing comic blonde bombshell characters, she became one of the most popular sex symbols of the 50s and 60s, as well as an emblem of the era's sexual revolution, right? So she represented that part of the culture at the time. So I don't think she would be known for her singing as much, even though she is known for the happy birthday performance. But so you would have liked to be at the happy birthday performance.
Oh, clearly. Yeah, who wouldn't? It's iconic.
Yeah.
And, all right. And her most iconic photo is the one where she was standing on the what was it, a city?
The grate, yeah.
Grate or drain, and there was
that is from a movie. Yeah, that's from which movie is that from? Is that from the 7-Year Itch? Oh, I can't remember now. But yeah, that's an iconic image, obviously. What is that from? Yeah, 7-Year Itch. Monroe posing for photographers in the 7-Year Itch as her white dress billows around her.
So that wasn't just they caught her a paparazzi style. That was set up.
Well, I think so. I think so. I don't know. I wasn't around at the time.
Can you imagine if you were there and you took that
you'd be
photo?
there for something like that. Well, that'd be something.
That's got to be one of the most coveted photos in pop culture.
So the off-topic topic, give us a celebrity or athlete who has passed away that you wish you could have seen them play or perform live. We've had some fun ones, some really smart ones coming in. All right, we got to take a timeout. Michael Chan, GM of the Edmonton Oil Kings, when we get back.
The NHL is changing up the All-Star Weekend for 2027. Commissioner Gary Bettman announcing some changes. An international-style 3-on-3 tournament featuring 5 teams: Canada, the United States, Sweden, Finland, and the rest of the world team. Deputy Commissioner Bill Daly saying Russian players will be included on the world team. Each team featuring 9 skaters, 2 goaltenders, with a fan vote helping to select some of the All-Stars. And tonight, Game 1 of the Stanley Cup Final goes between the Golden Knights and Hurricanes. Carter Hart, the expected starter for Vegas. Frederik Andersen likely to go for Carolina. Puck drop at 6. From Music City, the Predators have hired Avalanche general manager Chris McFarland as their new president of hockey operations and GM. With the move, Colorado president Joe Sakic assumes GM duties for the Avs. CFL news, the Elks, they've signed national defensive back Tyshawn Blackburn to the practice roster. The former Golden Bear won the Grey Cup with the Argos in 2024. And in baseball, the Jays Braves begin a 3-game set just after 5 o'clock. Kevin Gausman on the bump for the Birds. Bryce Elder countering for the Braves. As for the Riverhawks, they're in action out in Victoria against the Harbor Cats. First pitch at 7:35. Listen to the full game right here on EST. Michael Chen up next, GM of the Oil Kings here on the Reid Wilkins Show. I'm Zach Rakubish, keeping you up to date.
The Oil Stream.
I think this will be a rare case within the NHL in the next few years where you see a good trade that benefits both teams. That's where I'm leaning towards still, because I know as an Oilers fans right now, they're looking at this, and it's all the uproar on Twitter right now is how do you let this happen? I still am big on Ike Howard.
The Oil Stream, presented by Boston Pizza. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday afternoons at noon. Only on Edmonton Sports Talk. Your clear choice for Edmonton sports.
Some of us are walking, others are biking. Together, we are accelerating the pace of MS research breakthroughs. This May, join Sentinel Storage at an MS walk in your community. Sentinel Storage, proud partner of MS Canada.
At Firehouse Subs, our subs are freshly toasted, stacked high, and crafted to satisfy. Each sub is piled high with premium meats, melty cheese, and toasted to perfection. Firehouse Subs brings bold flavor to every bite, all served on a freshly toasted roll. But we're not just feeding Edmonton, we're fueling it. Dig into the brisket hat trick, piled with slow-smoked brisket and melty cheese. Or go to the Firehouse Subs fan favorite, the Hook and Ladder. Made to order with smoked turkey, honey ham, and Monterey Jack cheese on a perfectly toasted roll. With 15 Firehouse Sub locations across Edmonton and the greater area, it's easy to grab a hot and hearty sub close to home. Firehouse Subs. Hot, hearty, made to satisfy.
River Cree Resort and Casino and K97 proudly present Prism and Aldanova. May 29th in the venue. Tickets at rivercreeresort.com.
River Cree Resort and Casino. Excitement. Bet on it.
Goodwill is
one shopper, finding something I never knew I needed. A jacket, a deal, one donor, letting go of something so someone else can move forward.
One program participant,
learning,
trying,
building skills,
building confidence,
building a future.
One purchase, one donation, one job,
one choice.
Goodwill is
the power of one, the power of one, the power of one, the power of one.
Goodwill Industries of Alberta. It all starts with one.
Somewhere, someone is sitting on a patio that is literally part of the parking lot. They're hot, uncomfortable, and bored. Do not be that person. The Canadian Brewhouse has a rooftop, real turf, misters, fire tables, patio games, big screens, and zero reason to be bored. This summer, your standards are higher than a parking lot, and you know it. The Canadian Brewhouse, Canada's best patios.
Looking for flooring? Paramount Flooring has it all. Sales, service, and expert installation. With options for every style and budget, open 7 days a week. We've got you covered. Quick delivery and in-stock deals. Plus, EST listeners get 10% off. Visit ParamountFlooring.ca today.
Stanley Cup Final starts tonight. NBA Finals start tomorrow. A lot going on, a lot to talk about, and a lot going on with the Edmonton Oil Kings lately as well. This is the Oil Understood for GCL Diesel, providers of the best diesel engine components around, from turbochargers to injectors, fuel pumps to sensors. They are the critical engine component experts, proud to serve Edmonton and Northern Alberta for over 50 years, and now a partner of Edmonton Sports Talk and the Reid Wilkins Show. GCL Diesel. Diesel. Understood. We won't do a long pause today because we got our guest waiting. He is now the president and general manager of the Edmonton Oil Kings. It is Michael Chan checking in. Michael, it's Reid and Jay. How are you? You might be muted. Can you hear us? We got you now.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Nice to see you. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm great. How are you?
Doing great. On a personal level, I'm really happy for you. I was saying earlier in the show, I've known you a while, though we often don't have a lot of time to talk. So I kind of want to refresh myself and let everybody else hear about your story as well, because I think you've had a really cool journey to where you are. Like, what I remember you around the Golden Bears and around the Oil Kings early in your career, but what kind of stuff did you start doing that, when you were kind of working your way up and getting involved in the hockey world?
Yeah, I started off at U of A, helping out with the Golden Bears. I was trying to break my way into the industry kind of when I was finishing up my business degree at the U of A. I would just go down there and help any way they needed it. I was like running the camera for the video coach to start when I first got involved, and then I kind of graduated to the video coach and then to assistant coach with that team. And then I did a few years of an internship with the Oilers. I would do that I would do the internship with the Oilers during the day, and then I'd go over to practice with the Bears in the evening. And then after 3 years of doing that, role opened up with the Oil Kings as their video coach in 16-17, I believe. So I took that on with Randy Hanch and Steve Hamilton, and then those two departed 2 years later. Kirk came in. I was able to work a little more closely with him, get my feet wet more in the scouting and being more involved in the draft process. And then I took a year away to be the video coach with the Toronto Marlies organization. And then Jamie Porter, who left the director of scouting position to take a job at the Colorado Avalanche. And then Kurt asked me to come back, and that's what I've been doing the last 5 years leading up to today.
Well, this is great. And I remember seeing you around Claire Drake, and I know you're going to think, like, come on, Reid, give me a break. But, like, you're a great story because, like, if somebody said, well, what's Michael Chan's training? Like, how did he break in? Well, you just heard him describe it. He showed up and said, I'm interested and I want to learn what do you need me to do today? Like, that's kind of basically how you didn't go in and say, oh, I already know how to do this, or I scored 70 goals in the dub. You're like, what do you need done today? I want to be around hockey. Yeah, totally. That's kind of the approach I've tried to take from day one and still try to adopt to this day. And it's just, obviously being a bit of an outsider to the industry, you got to do whatever you can to get your foot in the door. And like I say to everyone here, it's just about being humble and getting whatever work needs to be done. And, people back then kind of above me, like they have a lot on their plate. They have a lot of work they have to do. So I think it's up to the people working for them and helping them out to kind of see around the corner a bit and see what you can take off their plate and make their lives easier. And I think I just tried to adopt that mindset over the last, I don't know what it's been, 13 years or so. So what was, look, working around sports is great, but what was that initial appeal to you? Did you just want to see what it was like? Did you think maybe I'd like to be a manager or a big scouting guy someday? Like, did you know when you were going to the university? Well, it's a lot of, I feel like it's a bit of a pipe dream, realistically. I'm sure my parents would have told me the same thing when I was starting. So I was like, gave myself a year or two to get my feet off the ground before I would have to try and attempt to do a job in real life. But I was just, I played a little growing up and I just always loved the game. I was always a big fan. And, I was graduating university and looking at a few different avenues, and I just decided I really love this. I don't know exactly what goes into it. I'll try to find out the best I can, and here we are, I guess. Michael Chan joining us. He's the president and GM of the Edmonton Oil Kings, taking over from Kurt Hill last week. Kurt has taken on an assistant GM role with the Oilers. All right, so the Oil Kings this past season, like pretty good regular season. We're right up there. Like I think you guys were 4th or 5th overall. Unfortunately got upset in the first round, but it was a pretty good team. How are you guys now? How are the Oil Kings positioned for next year? Like, how many guys are coming back, and what holes do you have to fill? Yeah, so with last year, obviously we were having a strong year and finishing at the top of the standings like we did in the regular season. We did have a veteran group that was a bit older. We had some, due to their success, I believe, we've had some earlier departures of like 18-year-old players going to the NCAA, like Lucas Sachin led our team in scoring with 88 points. He's going to Arizona State. A couple different stories like that down the lineup. We are losing our top 10 leading scorers from last year. That's forward and D included. But
We have a good group of young players coming in. With the injuries, Aaron Obofiefo and Caden Strader were able to assume some elevated roles in the playoffs, and I thought they did really well. And looking to them and some others to kind of lead us through these new times. And I expect us to still be competitive. With the NCAA landscape changing, there's an avenue now to bring in some older players from the different leagues, whether that's a BCHL, we brought a player in from the USHL, brought a player in from the NAHL, brought a player in from Minnesota High School. So there's a stream of players that wasn't previously available and built in kind of building your roster at the WHL level because they would have decided to go NCAA. So we're hoping that, with a mix of internal development and organic growth and some veteran presence from other leagues that we can maintain our competitiveness going into next year.
Okay, so I'm glad you touched on that because I wanted to ask you about the NCAA angle because there's been the league's going to get younger, like some of the better players won't stay. So there's going to be players coming from areas that maybe you would have thought of like 5-10 years ago. Is that fair, or you just have to look a little wider to bring guys in?
Yeah, it's been very interesting in the last 2 years since the rule change was adopted. I think was down in the U.S. 4 to 5 times a season prior to this, and then last time I was down there 7 times. So it's there's a lot of ground to cover. There's a lot of leagues. There's different ways teams are approaching it. Like with Penticton being an expansion team this year, they went very heavy on older players and Americans, and they kind of subscribe to the theory that they can kind of refill with older players every year. Traditionally, we've been more focused on drafting and developing, just with the way things were structured and having to sign guys and forced to develop them in your program before the rules changed. And I think with the guys leaving a little earlier, we'll probably try to strike a bit of a hybrid with that in terms of filling the gaps. But I think in terms of the culture and guys that understand what it's like to be here and carrying on a lot of the values and culture, that we want to have players that are still here for longer periods of time, ideally.
Okay. What are some of the key things you think you learned from Kurt Hill? I mean, you guys worked together for quite a while.
No, it was unbelievable. I'd say, first of all, just the way he treated everyone. He put everyone in a position to succeed, the staff and players. It was always asking what they needed to be successful in their jobs, and that extended out to the trainers, the support staff, and he really set the culture and made the environment extremely professional in terms of the resources available to the boys with skills coaches, nutritionists, strength and conditioning coaches. He really upped the ante in a lot of the off-ice stuff. And then I think in terms of watching him operate with the trades and the signings and working with him through the draft, there wasn't a situation he wasn't ready for, and he was extremely good at reading and reacting to the situation and having a lot of different alternatives ready and being creative in his thought process and decision making, and that's something I'm looking to carry forward.
Michael Chan, Oil Kings general manager, joining us here on the Reid Wilkins Show. I just want to know about the transition period from Kurt Hill to now you as the general manager. What does that look like in terms of where you or where he was at and now where you're at in terms of recruitment? Was there a handover? Was there messages sent to the players that you were already actively recruiting? How did that look?
Yeah, we kind of, with everything that was going on behind the scenes, we kind of just proceeded as normal. I myself in my previous role, just kind of the way things evolved organically, I had a pretty high involvement in the recruiting process for all these players we brought in, and there was an understanding that it would likely happen, so I took the lead on a lot of the recruiting matters coming down the stretch and going into next season. But there's messages sent out to the current players and families on the team just to let them know of the change and whatnot. And I think I've been here long enough. Like I've been here with Kurt. I've been in the organization 9 years now and worked together with the staff here. So I think internally it'll be a smooth transition. But kind of as in the past few years, he gave me a lot of responsibility of starting trade talks and building relationships with other GMs and personnel around the league to kind of smooth the transition if this were ever to happen.
Well, Michael, thanks for joining us. We're going to be talking more because we love talking to you and Jason and your players throughout the season. Again, personally, I'm really happy for you. I know how hard you work. I know the passion you have, and specifically like being an Edmontonian. And I mean, you know, I got a soft spot for the U of A. I love the Oil Kings. So I'm just really happy for you. We wish you a ton of success. Thanks for hopping on today, and we'll see you around the rink.
Awesome. Appreciate it, Reid and Jay. Thanks for having me on.
Michael Chan checking in, the Oil Understood for GCL Diesel. Like he's...
Can you believe that
people
story?
probably go, Reid's a big softie. That's a great story. No, it is an incredible story.
It's like, show up and just say, hey, I'm here. How can you use me? Show me. Yeah. Teach me. I'm willing to learn.
And learn, like not going in there like, oh, I know it all. Like
get there, do your job, take direction. You know, a good attitude is free. Right?
Oh, that's a good one.
Right? It's not hard work. It's good attitude, and showing up on time can get you a lot of places in life. And I mean, look at that.
Yeah.
So, Kate, was he doing this with the Golden Bears? Like his video
he
coach?
was doing he was doing video stuff with the U of A. Yeah.
What year's story, Reid? Like,
well, what did he say? That was 13, 14 years ago. So that's when I would have been going to games. Well, I still do go to games, but seeing him around there and stuff. Yeah.
Right.
Incredible stuff.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, it's good. I hope he does great. I mean, we love talking to the Oil Kings. The players we've had on the last couple of years have been phenomenal young men to talk to. So, yeah, and they had a good year. I mean, tough first round, obviously, against Saskatoon. But I didn't realize they're losing their 10 top scorers. But he said they're looking at other leagues to bring in older, more experienced guys. So maybe you lose guys that go to the NCAA, but you get somebody like, okay, this guy's been in the BCHL, the AJHL, what do you say, USHL. And it's like, okay, you're 18, 19. You didn't go to the NCAA. Why don't you come here and bolster our lineup and be an experienced guy for some of these younger players?
Yeah, it's definitely going to change the world of recruiting for them.
Oh, big time.
Right?
Yeah. 780-218-9999 is the River Cree Resort and Casino inbox. Don't forget, 50% off all menu items at Tap 25 at River Cree Resort and Casino, 7 days a week from 2 to 5 p.m. rivercreeresort.com. Les in the nasty chat says it may have stopped raining. My goodness. Trying to look out the window, but we can't really see. That's good. That's good. Casino Dealer Jay says he's like another glue guy. Cool. I think he was referring to Michael.
All right.
Yeah.
The world needs more glue guys.
They really do. Good stuff with Michael Chan. We wish him all the best as the GM of the Edmonton Oil Kings. So let's do Jay's Play of the Day when we get back.
Sure.
Shawn Belle coming up at 4:20. Oh, my goodness. Excuse me. And Mark Kilam, the Mark Kilam Show, the first edition with the head coach of your Edmonton Elks is coming up at 5. Here's the 4 o'clock break.
The Lock Shop. Cleveland Browns are finalizing a deal that will send Myles Garrett to the Los Angeles Rams. They will get Pro Bowl edge Jared Verse, a 2027 first-round pick, and other draft pick compensation still being negotiated to the Browns.
Wow. Verse is no joke. I mean, he's a heck of a player. Now, Myles Garrett's probably the best in the biz, so...
The Lock Shop, weekday mornings at 11, only on Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton sports.
You've always known GCL Diesel as the experts in diesel fuel systems, but did you know that GCL is also your source for turbochargers and turbo repair? As a turbo supplier for Garrett, Borg Warner, and Holset, GCL can provide genuine original equipment turbos at wholesale prices. Whether it's diesel, gas, natural gas, or performance, we can provide you with the turbo or custom repair you require. Turbo questions? We've got turbo answers. Visit us in the West End or online at GCLDiesel.com. GCL Diesel, turbochargers, understood.
Worksite ready, Western tough. Lamley's Workwear is calling all tradespeople, oil and gas crews, construction workers, farmers, and hard-working Canadians. Built for the job with quality craftsmanship, job site protection, and cowboy-worthy durability. Trusted brands like Ariat Work and Wrangler Rigs, designed for performance and all-day comfort on the toughest sites. No matter the season, Lamley's has the workwear you need. Shop the full range now at lamleys.com/work.
LAMMLES. Time for a new career in 2026? Or maybe your kid is still pondering their path.
Good news! Weiss Johnson is hiring. It's Dennis, and not only are we hiring for heating and air conditioning, we're also looking for experienced plumbers and gas fitters. With the growth in residential development, there's no shortage of opportunities at Weiss Johnson. Choose your path with us. Learn from one of the industry leaders, and we will grow together. Receive great benefits and school reimbursement as well. Visit weiss-johnson.com today.
It doesn't start on game day. It starts before kickoff. Before the first snap, before the noise, before everyone else. This is Edmonton football. The only way to experience it is being there when it happens. Every hit, catch, and touchdown. Season seats, flex packs, groups, single games. There's a way in for everyone. Edmonton Elks, our city, our year. Get your seats now at goelks.com/tickets.
You've heard the name, but what does it mean? For over 66 years, William Huff Advertising has supplied signage from screen printing to digital to LED with design, production, and install in-house. It's a one-stop shop for all your signage needs. Edmonton owned and operated, William Huff has been trusted by the biggest companies and teams in the City of Champions and many others across the country to do the job. If you're looking for a way to get the word out about your company or event, they are the answer. Go to www.williamhuff.com. Their results speak for themselves.
The Stanley Cup Final opens at 6 o'clock between the Hurricanes and Golden Knights out in Raleigh. Carter Hart, the expected starter for Vegas. Frederik Andersen likely to go for Carolina. In other news, the NHL is introducing an international-style 3-on-3 tournament for next year's All-Star Weekend. 5 countries, including a rest of the world team, having Russian players granted permission to play. Additionally, the All-Star competition returns, having 10 players under the age of 25 going head-to-head. In CFL news, the Elks, they've signed national defensive back Tyshawn Blackburn to the practice roster. The former Golden Bear won the Grey Cup with the Argos in 2024. To baseball, the Jays and Braves begin a 3-game set. Just after 5 o'clock, Kevin Gausman on the bump for the Birds, Bryce Elder countering for the Braves, and around the majors, the Marlins face the Nationals at 4:45. The Yankees and Guardians battle while the Dodgers challenge the Diamondbacks. And WCL action, West Coast League action. Riverhawks out in Victoria against the Harbor Cats. First pitch at 7:35. Listen to the full game right here on EST. Find the full schedule at edmontonsportstalk.com. I'm Zachary Kubish. That was your sports update. Hour 2 of the Reid Wilkins Show starts right now.
All right, good to have Michael Chan on the show, new GM, President of Hockey Operations for the Edmonton Oil Kings. Mark Kilam in an hour, first edition of the Mark Kilam Show, presented by the Edmonton Elks. That's going to be every Tuesday at 5 on the Reid Wilkins Show with Jason Milne. You can email Reid at edmontonsportstalk.com, Jay at edmontonsportstalk.com. Any update from people on CFL Fantasy? Because we're trying to draft tomorrow. We might draft during this show. It's you, me, Koob, Dustin, Tom, and Hernan, right? We got our 6-team league.
A live draft would be
good because we can tell people how it goes. But apparently the drafting to this point has been not great. Right?
Yeah, I saw what you saw yesterday. I believe Big Uke said it was a bit glitchy. So it didn't go as fast as maybe you or I would like.
Right.
I mean, we're on a live show, Reid.
Yeah, we don't have time to mess around.
Be glitching.
Well, yeah, 2 days ago, Reddit post, CFL Fantasy is broken. Literally couldn't do the draft. Physically, really couldn't do anything at all. Like
physically, mentally, spiritually.
Yeah, emotionally.
Yeah, right.
Everythingly. Yeah, you're hungry while doing it. You can't go get food. Can't go do anything.
Well, here's the thing. If it's not something that we can finish in half an hour, we're not doing it.
Because how many?
I mean, it should go incredibly
How
quickly.
many rounds is it? How many?
I don't even remember. Where's this website now? It wouldn't like
what would you have? 15 players on your roster?
Yeah, with 6 guys.
Yeah, let's see.
That
here,
should
yeah.
not take a long time.
I mean, we'll know pretty quick.
Mm-hmm. Well, people would get booted out, like, even when you're trying to pick somebody, it wouldn't work. So just, I don't know the coding of it, but I don't know how easy that is to brush up this fast prior to start of the season.
Well, if it was a server issue and it was just, okay, Sunday, what was significant about Sunday? Okay, all of the cuts come out. So you know who is made the final roster. Then you can go and have your fantasy draft. So Sunday night, I would imagine a lot of the, hardcore CFL fans wanted to have their draft.
Right.
And maybe it overwhelmed, which would be hard to believe. But I mean, in the CFL's eyes, maybe a good problem. But maybe it was overwhelmed. I don't know. I'm not that techie. But I'd heard some people were saying that. So now, is there such an issue?
Well, yeah, we'll see if anything's...
We're going to find out firsthand.
Hopefully we can do it tomorrow. We just got to check if... I mean, the 3 of us can do it. We can just do it while we're working. Dustin's golfing, but he said he would do it while he was golfing.
Sounds like the best day of my life.
Tom, and if Hernan can do it quickly after the show, that's great. I mean, let's make sure that
Hernan can do it right here if he
Hernan
wants.
could just sit with us and do it, yeah, if he wanted to. But if this is something that's going to take 3 or 4 hours or we all have to auto draft, I don't think we want to do it.
Well, yeah, Big Uke's even saying, like, set it up through the auto draft with cues, but that's not... You have cues as, I guess, a backup. Like, if you physically can't be there for a draft, comparing this to an NFL draft, I've had to auto draft.
Yeah,
They
don't do
set
it.
it
If
and I
you
get
can't
busy.
physically be there, don't do it.
No, that's never a good
Auto
good
draft
look.
is for the birds.
Yeah. Well, I've had to auto draft because when I was doing Inside Sports,
Now, if you
sometimes they would
layer your
draft
cue-
at 7, so I
Right.
would just auto draft. Well, or I might try to pick the first couple and then auto
put
draft.
your
yeah.
top 10 picks that you get maybe 3 of them.
Mainly what
in
matters,
the
right?
queue.
Yeah.
Sure.
So anyway, we may be doing that during the show tomorrow because why not? All right.
It's Jay, it's play, he's Jay, it's today. It's Jay's play of the day. It's Jay's play of the day. Jay's play of the day.
Presented by Play Alberta. When you bet with Play Alberta, you give back to Alberta. That's because it's the only app in the province that puts all revenue directly back into supporting programs and services that Albertans rely on every day. So next time you place a wager on your favorite team, know that you're also making a difference across the province through Alberta's General Revenue Fund. Visit playalberta.ca/EST to learn more. You have to be 18 and older to play, and if you gamble, use your game sense.
So obviously, game 1 of the Stanley Cup Final goes tonight, 6 p.m. Vegas, Carolina. You all know that. I thought game 1, let's go with the over. Right? Got burnt by being an idiot last series and trying to be too smart and too cute.
Right.
And bet the under, so forget that. Carolina, Vegas, 6 or more goals, so over 5.5, which was what the line was set at. Logan Stankoven, 1 or more points, and Mitchell Marner, 1 or more PP points.
Right.
That has been boosted to a substantial number, Reid, of plus 588.
Oh, really? Almost 7-1.
Now, what do the people want? What do you want from good old glue guy here? Because guess what? Yesterday I said something right here on this very show. What was my prediction for the series, Reid?
Oh, Carolina in 4.
Carolina in 4. I think I owe that to the people to at least put it up on the board to say, hey, you want a sprinkle, maybe even a tinkle on Carolina to sweep the Vegas Golden Knights.
Okay.
I think it would be a pretty good number. So I'm going to send that over.
Now, what's the line? 5.5?
Goals?
Yeah.
Total 5.5.
See, I don't have a problem taking that over. Because if it's 3-2 late, there's going to be an empty netter, and you're over. So it's still kind of a low-scoring game. But
They'll tie it up,
Or they tie it. And now a lot of times we see it's a Stanley Cup Final. If you're down 4-1, the losing team might still pull their goalie. I mean, what are you playing for? You're playing for the Stanley Cup. Goal differentials are relevant. You either win the game or you lose the game. So I don't mind that one at all.
Sending it in.
The sweep.
On
top of the other one. Okay.
On top
So
of
that's
the Stankoven, Mitchell Marner
But
over
this one, they got to get this one in quick.
What are you naming it?
Jay's Stanley Cup Final play of the day.
Or Canes bring pain? No.
Who?
Canes bring pain.
Canes bring pain.
Oh, yeah.
I wish I would have thought of that earlier.
That's okay.
It's Jay, it's play, he's Jay, it's today. It's Jay's play of the day. It's Jay's play of the day. Jay's play of the day.
All right, and that is presented by Play Alberta. So playalberta.ca, the Play Alberta app. Look for the EST specials, and we always have a lot of fun stuff there for you. By the way, portions of this hour are presented by Commonwealth Stadium. Welcome to the jungle. It's time to come alive and get ready to be thunderstruck. These aren't just songs. They're the biggest concerts of the season. Guns N' Roses, Foo Fighters, AC/DC, Post Malone, all coming to Commonwealth. For more information on all the biggest shows at Commonwealth Stadium, go to edmonton.ca/Commonwealth. Big show there last night with the soccer match, Canada beating Uzbekistan 2-0. Yeah, rainy. What was the attendance? Over 45,000?
Maddie said there were 42,000 through the turnstiles.
Those tickets sold would have been
more than that.
Yeah. So pretty good the weather was extremely unpleasant.
It was cold, windy, and wet.
Right.
Those are the worst.
That's the worst combination.
You'd rather have cold, windy, and snowy than cold, windy, and wet.
Yeah, probably.
At least the snow would be dry.
Right.
And wouldn't soak you as much or as fast.
Yeah, that's a good point. So
at least me, anyways.
Big credit to everybody who went out and watched the match, and now Canada playing in Montreal against Ireland on Friday.
Let me ask you a question. Of the Commonwealth Stadium concerts that are coming this summer, okay, I'm going to go through them.
Okay.
Post Malone and Jelly Roll, July 24th, 25th. Okay. AC/DC, August 9th. Guns N' Roses, August 26th. Foo Fighters, September 17th. Which of those would be number one on Reid Wilkins' hit list?
Sorry, say them again. Let's
So Post Malone and Jelly Roll.
Okay.
AC/DC, Guns N' Roses, and Foo Fighters.
Foo Fighters.
Really?
Yeah. I got to see Guns N' Roses at Commonwealth, 10 years ago, whenever they were there before. Pretty good show, but I've seen them.
That surprises me.
Why? Well, you didn't think I was going to say Jelly Roll.
Nope. I thought you were going to say AC/DC or GNR. You know where you are?
In the jungle, baby.
I thought you would have said one of those two bands. I did not have Reid Wilkins. Well, Queens of the Stone Age is opening for Foo Fighters, as well as another band that I don't want to say on air.
What? Show me. Oh yeah, that's good. That's good. We don't say that.
Yeah, like what kind of band name is that?
I've never seen Foo Fighters. I have seen Guns N' Roses. Sometimes I see some comments about AC/DC's most recent performances that aren't the most glowing.
Now, has Guns N' Roses made a resurgence? Because wasn't when they got back together, weren't they not the most glowing reviews?
Well, weren't they for a while? Probably 15 or 20 years ago. It was just Axl had the name. Because wasn't the album Chinese Democracy just Axl with other people? And they were touring with people who weren't the original lineup, and then they got back together for these tours? I'm trying to remember here.
I don't recall, Reid.
But I think that Guns N' Roses was not I think it was just Axl for a while. And now but the last time I saw them, yeah.
I'm torn. My daughters really want to go to Jelly Roll. and Post Malone. Posty, the kids call him.
Right.
Austin Post.
But my oldest daughter, when we were out doing our bottle drive on Sunday in pleasant weather, she said, Dad, it's not because of Post Malone or Jelly Roll. It's because of Carter Faith, the opening opener.
Oh, wow.
Guess she's a young and up-and-coming country artist.
I just want to clarify something here. Dan says, Reid, why would you say plus 588 is almost 7? It's almost 600. It's not close to 7 in betting terms unless you're using some Canadian math conversion. Jay's play of the day. Now, I do the odds. It's 6.88 to 1. In my world, that's almost 7.
Well, because yours is
plus,
decimal.
Right. Yours is plus 588.
Yep. So decimal, it's 6.88 to 1.
Right. So that's why I said almost 7. That's right off the Play Alberta website.
Yeah, there's 3 versions you can use for sports betting: decimal, American, or fractional.
Okay.
So fractional, Jay's play of the day is 147 over 25.
Because they find the
whole
denominator. Yeah.
I myself like to use the good old American one because that's what I've done
Yeah, I always do it. The way I learned it is like whatever to 1 or like 9 to 2 or whatever. So that's why.
Well, yours is decimal is actually easier to understand.
Right, because it's like you bet it for every dollar you get, you win that. Right. That's how. Well, maybe it's not easy for some people. But that's why I said almost 7 to 1. Because what we've learned, Dan, is if it's plus 588, you add 100 for the way I do it, and then move the decimal over. Right. So plus 588, yes, exactly would be 6.88. So that's why I'm doing it that way. But yeah, it is. I mean, it is almost 7 to 1.
Like if AC/DC brought the pain and and part of the reason, Reid, for me is because I saw AC/DC last time they were at Commonwealth. And that was that concert that if you were there, you talk about as one of the top concert experiences of your life. Because when they played the bell for Hell's Bells, lightning was striking around the stadium.
Oh, no way. Okay.
And then it just started pouring.
Yeah.
It was perfect.
But I like Foo Fighters. I've never seen them live. I don't know every single song, but I think I would know most of the hits anyway. I think they'd put on a pretty good show.
Foo Fighters would probably have a banger of a
And
set
Queens of the Stone Age, right?
Queens of the Stone Age.
I know some of their stuff. They're pretty fun.
Little Sister.
Yeah. No one knows. That's
classic.
Actually, their album Songs for the Deaf, that would be probably one of my top 10 favorite albums. 2002, maybe, I want to say.
Yeah, it's up there.
No One Knows. Go With the Flow. And that's the one where it's as if you're scanning through the radio stations because it has the radio in between, the radio DJs in between. That was a fun album. Boy, we've covered a lot of topics just in this segment, which is pretty good. Shawn Belle to talk a little Bouchard Norris Trophy voting, Stanley Cup Final. Maybe we'll get him to comment on this new All-Star Game format as well. Again, the Mark Kilam Show with Elks head coach Mark Kilam coming up at 5 o'clock today. Here's the Coop.
Game 1 of the Stanley Cup Final out in Raleigh tonight. Carolina, Vegas hit the ice at 6. Carter Hart, the expected starter for Vegas. Frederik Andersen likely to go for Carolina. In other news, the NHL is introducing an international-style 3-on-3 tournament for next year's All-Star Weekend. 5 countries, including a rest of the world team, having Russian players granted permission to play in the tournament. And additionally, the All-Star Skills Comp returns, limiting the competition to 10 players under the age of 25. To the CFL, the Elks, they've signed national defensive back Tyshawn Blackburn to the practice roster. The former Golden Bear won the Grey Cup with the Argos in 2024. To baseball, Jays Braves open up a 3-game series just after 5 o'clock. Kevin Gausman on the bump for Toronto. Bryce Elder countering for the Braves. And the Riverhawks, they're out in Victoria against the Harbor Cats. First of 3 total games. First pitch just after 7:30. Listen to the full game right here on EST. Find the full broadcast schedule at edmontonsportstalk.com. This sports update is brought to you by the Edmonton Elks. It doesn't start on game day. It starts before kickoff. Get your single game tickets today and be there for every hit, catch, and touchdown. Lock in your seats now at goelks.com/tickets. The show continues here on Edmonton Sports Talk. Shawn Belle up next. I'm Zachary Kubish, and you're up to date.
The Nielsen Show with Lieutenant Eric.
TSN's Craig Button joining us.
I've just been out riding the bike, spending some time. We're going to go for a hike tomorrow and just trying to get outdoors and get out on a kayak. And you'll be better than Dustin. I do kayak, Dave, and it doesn't take much to be better than Dustin. I mean, all you got to really do is stay afloat, and you're already better than Dustin. So
The Nielsen Show with Lieutenant Eric. Weekday mornings 6 to 9. Only on Edmonton Sports Talk. Your clear choice for Edmonton sports.
When you bet with Play Alberta, you give back to Alberta. That's because it's the only app in the province that puts all revenue directly back into supporting programs and services that Albertans rely on every day. So next time you place a wager on your favorite team, know that you're also making a difference across the province through Alberta's General Revenue Fund. Visit playalberta.ca/EST to learn more. That's playalberta.ca/EST. Must be 18 plus. If you gamble, use your game sense.
When you cater with Royal Pizza, you're getting the same great pizzas, pastas, and salads you love, just bigger and built for a crowd. Perfect for teams, offices, or parties, Royal Pizza's catering brings real value around $10 per person. Delicious, high quality, and easy. If you like their pastas, you'll love their catering pastas even more. Visit royalpizza.ca or contact your local store for exact pricing and details.
So come on home, Royal Pizza, still making it great.
At Firehouse Subs, our subs are freshly toasted, stacked high, and crafted to satisfy. Each sub is piled high with premium meats, melty cheese, and toasted to perfection. Firehouse Subs brings bold flavor to every bite, all served on a freshly toasted roll. But we're not just feeding Edmonton, we're fueling it. Dig into the brisket hat trick, piled with slow-smoked brisket and melty cheese. Or go to the Firehouse Subs fan favorite, the Hook and Ladder. Made to order with smoked turkey, honey ham, and Monterey Jack cheese on a perfectly toasted roll. With 15 Firehouse Sub locations across Edmonton and the greater area, it's easy to grab a hot and hearty sub close to home. Firehouse Subs. Hot, hearty, made to satisfy.
When gambling, set a budget before you play. Stay informed and visit GameSenseAB.ca to learn how. Remember, if you gamble, use your game sense.
Hey sports fans, I'm Alistair Johnston with Canada Soccer. The biggest sporting event in the world is coming to Canada this summer, and we hope that you're just as excited as we are. It's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, and I can't wait to share it with the whole country.
Sentinel Storage, official storage partner of Canada Soccer.
Since 1952, William Huff has been the heartbeat of Edmonton's advertising world. From humble beginnings to a citywide powerhouse, we've been the go-to for signage from print to design and installation. Partnering with Edmonton's top sports franchises and major events, we've helped shape the city's global reputation. Our secret? Unmatched customer service, decades of experience, and a passion for excellence we call the William Huff Advantage. Visit us online at williamhuff.com.
All right, Stanley Cup Final starts tonight. Vegas at Carolina. Vegas, they're trying to win it for the second time in 4 seasons. Do I have that right? Yeah. And Carolina trying to win it for the first time since 2006. I guess just that'd be just the second time in franchise history. Did Hartford ever win the Stanley Cup? I don't think the Whalers ever won. They might have won the Avco World Trophy once or twice. They might have won the first one, actually.
The Avco?
Yeah, the WHA, the World Hockey Association. I think the Whalers might have been the inaugural winners, the New England Whalers. Anyway, talk about a sporting event you wish you could have seen live. Let's go to the Oil Country Towing Video Hotline. Oil Country Towing, Edmonton's most trusted 24/7 roadside rescue team. Fast, safe, and reliable for over 15 years, whether it's game day or a snowstorm. We work as hard as your favorite team to get you going. Call 780-986-6088 for all your towing needs. You get them on Hello Hockey. You get them on the Oil Stream pre- and post-game shows. You get them on the Hangout. You get them on this show. It's Shawn Belle checking in. Bellsy, how are you?
Gentlemen, how's it going today?
Yeah, we're doing great. I don't know. You do so much broadcasting. I don't know how you have time for anything else.
Well, luckily the hockey season's over, so I got time for everything.
Bellsy, we were just having a discussion. I want your thoughts on this. As you know, Commonwealth Stadium is a big partner here at Edmonton Sports Talk. They partner with our show. They're presenting the Green and Gold Kickoff Show with Matthew Awanek and myself when we do the Elks pre- and post-game show. But they're also hosting 4 what I would consider pretty big concerts this summer. So of these 4 concerts, which would appeal most to Shawn Belle? First option, Post Malone and Jelly Roll. Second option, AC/DC. 3 would be Guns N' Roses. And 4 would be the Foo Fighters.
I've said my answer twice. But out of curiosity, do I have to go to one of those 4 concerts?
So I'm
Those are the only options.
I'm gathering that
Is this like I have to be there?
Well, no. Let's go into this a bit further here, my good friend. So of these 4, none of these would interest Shawn Belle.
I'm not really a country fan, so I'm not jumping up and down.
Dropping Jelly Roll and Post Malone. Okay.
Jelly Roll. AC/DC, I've done the Metallica thing. Pantera was an opener for Metallica, scared me, still scarred from it. So AC/DC, and who was the other one? Guns N' Roses. Yeah, so like I'm still a little bit scared.
But think of the nostalgia factor with Guns N' Roses.
Dude, did you go to Metallica and see Pantera?
I did not.
I still have nightmares of a guy like about 10 rows down, like basically being like this and screaming and I'm like, oh my God, I am terrified.
But speaking of nostalgia, I mean, think of all the AC/DC you heard growing up in small rinks across Alberta.
Also gives me PTSD, so I can't do that.
So Foo Fighters it is.
Foo Fighters it is. You know what? To be honest with you, I'd probably go Post Malone Jelly Roll. Post Malone has the ability to kind of go through multiple different genres. So that would probably be the one that would entice me the most, followed by probably the Foo Fighters.
Okay.
So
yeah, I said Foo Fighters. I've seen Guns N' Roses. Post Malone wouldn't interest me. I think AC/DC, like I just see some things that maybe they're not as sharp as they used to be. I don't know. But it'd probably still be a fun show. But I would go to Foo Fighters, I think. They got a lot of good songs.
Yeah, they've got a lot of good stuff.
Yeah. So you went to the Metallica when they did the 2 different sets?
Yep, I did. I went on the Friday.
Okay.
No, I couldn't handle both of them. I went to the Friday. And like I said, it was a good concert because they're a type of band that there's a lot of, songs that I've heard over the course of my hockey career. And they're pretty good. Like I had a good time with it, but their opener Pantera, like my God, I got heart palpitations, how aggressive that music was. I wasn't prepared for the level of aggression that Pantera had. And
Koob is sitting here just stirring.
Yeah.
He's having a panic attack listening to this because
what a shock. The guy that dresses like a tennis ball. Like, I'm sorry. Like,
hey, I might look soft.
I'm a little bit disturbed right now. And I'm not chirping Koob saying he looks like a tennis ball because I think he's soft. Like that guy's got aggression written all over him.
It was amazing, Bellsy. I'm surprised you didn't love it. Like all the dad rock lovers showed up for Metallica and then got the real show with Pantera. I'm going to say that Pantera was outstanding.
Did you go to that show?
I think I went to the Friday one. If I remember, I went to one of them. I didn't go to both, but I loved every second of it.
Just like literally hands to the sky, screaming.
Yeah, that might have been me, Bellsy. I couldn't speak the next day. It was fantastic.
Not shocked one bit.
Come on, you didn't love Cemetery Gates?
No,
that guy's got
never
pipes.
heard of it. Never heard of it.
Phil Anselmo's got pipes, man.
Terrified.
Oh, that's amazing. Shawn Belle joining us on the Oil Country Towing Hotline. All right. Canes, Golden Knights tonight. I think it's going to be a very interesting series. I mean, Vegas has the whole Tortorella took over late. Then they swept Colorado. Carolina has the whole we've been good for the last few years and haven't been able to go over the hump. And oh, by the way, one of our best players in franchise history is now our best coach in franchise history, and he's trying to win the cup. What's a compelling storyline or two for you in this one?
Mitch Marner. I've been saying this, since they kind of got on their run and they've moved on to the second round. It was like big game Mitch. That's what I like to call him. It's a compelling storyline because of how he left Toronto, the stuff that came out of Toronto and how he wasn't a big time player. He couldn't get it done in the playoffs. And now all of a sudden he's on a Vegas team and he has been one of the best players for that particular team with a group that's got some pretty legit talent. I think that's a definite storyline. I think the Tortorella, how he ended up becoming the head coach of the Vegas Golden Knights is obviously a storyline. And then from the other side, Carolina, I think it's how they were able to put to bed kind of the conversation of how they can't get it done in the Eastern Conference Finals. I think that the way that they've played, the way that they've moved through their competition, and how relentless they've been is a massive storyline. And it comes up with this: can Carolina's relentless forecheck, shut down some of the stars of Vegas? And so it's a very intriguing matchup.
I'm glad you brought up Marner, and I'm not just saying this to troll Leafs fans, though I am known to do that every once in a while. But this is why, Bellsy, I try to never use the word never. When we get messages from, well, McDavid will never win, this guy will never win, Josh Allen will never win with the like whatever. Like you can't say never, because the right guy in the right situation with the right teammates or the right line mates or the right coach at the best league in the world, like being 2 or 3% better than you've ever been, or on a line that's 5% better, like that can make all the difference, right? And I think that's what we're seeing with Marner, and I think it speaks to that word that I think is overused, but I'm going to use it, that Vegas culture. I remember I told this to Joaquin on Two Guys and a Goalie today. I remember when Jack Eichel was traded there. John Shannon used to be on Inside Sports with me. And John said, well, Eichel pouted his way out of Buffalo. Now he can go pout in Vegas and bring that team down. Well, the exact opposite happens. Like Jack Eichel's a beast, right? So that's kind of why with Marner or whoever, like never say never. Because you never know what might elevate a guy in a team.
Well, yeah, and I think that, watching Marner leave Toronto and the teams that Toronto's had versus the teams that Vegas have had, they're a deeper lineup. They're a more structured lineup. You had more guys that have bought into the process and I guess the details, and then there's the experience factor. Like they've won a Stanley Cup. So you insert a guy like Marner who's had his issues in Toronto and, having that little fight on the bench with Nylander and, is Matthews going and who's kind of the lead dog in Toronto, but you get him all of a sudden who is a legitimate talent that puts up 100 points, and you get him into a system like Vegas where there's a lot of players that play 200 feet. Jack Eichel's become, like you mentioned, he's become one of the best 200-foot centermen in the game, if not the best. And then you have William Karlsson who's come in, and his game is, it's a 200-foot game, but he's got skill on the offensive side. And then you insert this guy who's a 100-point scorer into that particular lineup. Are we surprised that all of a sudden he's finding success? Because you've got the stability around him. You've got the experience around him. You've got the gamesmanship around him. You've got the depth around him. Now you're putting him in and you're saying, just go do what you do and go shine and make plays. And that's exactly what he's done.
I want to stick with this Mitchell Marner storyline because I find it I got to explore it a bit more with both of you. Is this a storyline in the U.S.? Is this a storyline mostly in Canadian markets because Canadian markets would like to stick it, for the most part, outside of Toronto, to the Maple Leafs organization? Is that why this is such a big, you guys let this guy walk away, now you look incompetent, and the Vegas Golden Knights have picked up a superstar? Is that part of this story in the Canadian markets only?
1,000%.
Yeah.
but I think it's the way that the Toronto fans, Toronto media wanted to get rid of Marner. Like, if you think back, and one of the videos that I can remember is Marner's got his helmet off, he's screaming at the bench, but his hair's dry. And people are like, how can you sit there and scream at the rest of your team? You haven't even done anything. Your hair's dry. Well, if you look at it for just the bigger picture now, you got a 30,000-foot view of it. Marner was one of the pace cars. It's not like Matthews has done anything since he's left. It's not like Nylander's done a ton of stuff since he's left. So, like, what is the common denominator here? Marner's out. You have a 100-point scorer that's just automatically out of your lineup. Fans clamored for him to be gone. He ended up leaving. You complained about him leaving. Halfway through the season, all of a sudden you're like, man, it'd be nice to have a 100-point scorer on their lineup to help Matthews. Well, no kidding. And so just the way that it was done in Toronto, from I want him out of here, we need a guy like that, and now all of a sudden he's in the running for a Conn Smythe. He's in the Stanley Cup Finals. I think it's a massive story in Canada because so many people want to give it to Toronto. They want to give it to Leafs fans because they might be the most obnoxious fan base we possibly have in Canada.
In hockey, I would say Riders fans could qualify. But, it is a bigger story because it's the Leafs. And maybe that's not fair, but I mean, that's hockey. And I mean, the Oilers are in that category too. I mean, I just want to bring up another example. Can you imagine if Mike Matheson had played for another Canadian team and was now one of the Canadians' best defensemen? It'd be like, how could Edmonton let him go? How could Winnipeg let him go? Mike Matheson played for Florida and Pittsburgh. He leaves Pittsburgh after an okay 31-point season. Then he gets 34 and then 62 with the Montreal Canadiens, and a couple more over 30. And he's very good. Like if a player, like just a solid defenseman like that, had been on another Canadian team and went to Montreal, it'd be like, oh, Montreal pulled the wool over these guys. But because he was, Florida and Pittsburgh, it's kind of like, yeah, where'd they get this guy again? Like he's pretty good. So fair or not, justified or not, it is a bigger story because it's the Maple Leafs. Did you have to, I know I texted you about this, but I know you've been working. Did you see the All-Star format stuff?
I did. I kind of glanced over it a little bit. Very interesting, but purely designed to probably get a little bit more out of the players, as opposed to what they've consistently given, which is an all-star level performance. They're trying to make it more competitive so that more people are invested. Every league tries to do something to get their players to be a little bit more invested. And, from what it looks like, I'm kind of intrigued. Now, you can't take away the player from the All-Star festivities. You're not going to be able to tell this guy, hey, you're going to have to try a little bit more during All-Star weekend.
Right.
I hate to be this person and say, like, man, they're going to all of a sudden come out and they're going to have playoff level intensity. It's not going to happen. Like, for a lot of guys, like, the All-Star game is a fun time where they can relax. They can meet some of the different players, enjoy some festivities. And yeah, they're going to try, 2% harder than they normally would. Because there's something a little bit more on the line, but I kind of like the way it's gone. But yeah, all-star games they're really hard to get the most out of players, but the changes to me are good.
Yeah, I don't mind them. I'm like, I'm kind of at the point with some of this spells. I'm like, just gimmick it up. Like, there's nothing is sacred, especially with an all-star game. Like, just whatever, have some fun, get players out there. You're right. I mean, Jay and I were talking earlier. It's kind of absurd that, you got players who are making $12 million a year. They're going to play for their share of $2 million, but whatever. That's the culture that we're in with that. Okay. Before we let you go, I don't know if you made it with Tom already. What's your pick for the Cup final? Well, I'll tell you ours in case you missed it yesterday. Jay's going the Carolina sweep. Ooh. I'm going to say Vegas puts it together and cements their status as the NHL villains by winning in 7.
Okay, well, we put it out on a clip for Hello Hockey, I think yesterday. Benny was very nice. He said that, the Hall, Stankoven, Blake line, was arguably the best line in hockey throughout the playoffs. I talked about Carolina having some swagger because they brought in a guy like Delorier, who's added some toughness to the lineup. Talked about Ehlers being a guy. I got accosted on Twitter because apparently I don't watch because Delorier's only played one game. But I was like, man, what happens if in the locker room he talks and has some swagger to his game? And then I said Vegas in 6, and I was told I was an idiot. So, Vegas in 6.
Okay, so we're both taking. I'm glad somebody at EST is with me on taking Vegas. I think that'll just be us.
And Tommy's got Vegas in 7.
He took Vegas as well. Okay, all right.
Yeah, and I just find that as much as I like Carolina and the way that they play, they're very relentless on the puck. I just don't know if they face a team like Vegas, who has Marner, who is one of the top players in the game, Eichel, who's one of the top players in the game, Stone. Yes, he's slowed down, but that guy is still very, very reliable, very efficient on the ice. Hurdle basically is your third line centerman. That is a deep lineup. And when you look at their fourth line, it's big, it's fast, it plays physical, it's in your face. They have a lot of elements up front, and then on the back end, you got a bunch of sequoia trees. And to me, it's a very daunting task. And the way that they're playing under Tortorella is gonna provide some real difficulties. So I just don't think Carolina's faced a team like that yet. And that's the reason why I'm going with Vegas. Not to say that I don't like Carolina and I don't like what they're doing. I just think that the Vegas test with Tortorella, with some of the players that they have, is going to be a little bit more imposing than the Montreal Canadiens or the Ottawa Senators or the Philadelphia Flyers,
which they beat in 4, swept them, and then they've only lost one game, so that's why Belsey partially. I was just going along with it to say, wouldn't this be historic? If a team swept the Stanley Cup Final and only
16-1, that would be something,
right?
That would be
unbelievable. And by the way, I did mention this earlier. I was in talks with our good friends over at Play Alberta. So right now, the Carolina Hurricanes to sweep the series 4-0 is up as a Jays Stanley Cup Final play of the day, plus 1,065.
So almost 11-1 my way. Yeah.
Well, no, 11.6-1. I believe your way.
Almost. Oh, so
11.65 to 1.
Yeah, good point. Yeah, good point.
So that'll be up until 6 o'clock.
Do we actually think they're going to sweep, guys?
Do we actually think? Well, given that it's 1,000 to 11 to 1,
might be worth $1.
The odds are.
I might put $1 in.
Yeah, I mean, do you think they can? Well, of course they can.
Well, they've
done it.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. I've said this before. Well, what's weird? What's unpredictable? Vegas swept Colorado. That's so. How can you say anything? How can you rule out any prediction? I mean,
can I put this out there though? Is that until Vegas beat Colorado, I would say that 95% of the people that are fans, that are media, would have said Colorado is going to win this thing.
True.
And Vegas has made them look like chumps. Yeah. And granted, hey, McKinnon was hurt, Makar's hurt. But Vegas still made Colorado look ordinary. So even if it was a situation where Colorado still got through versus Carolina, despite Carolina's record, most of us would have said Colorado is going to win this thing. So when I look at that, I go, okay, well, Vegas just made this team look ordinary despite the injuries. It is what it is. Carolina's obviously coming out of the East, but their path has been a little bit more hasn't been as hard as what, some of the other teams have been. Can Vegas go in there and upset them? Is it going to be a sweep from Carolina? I don't think it would be, because based off the fact that everybody would thought that Colorado is going to just take it anyway, and now you got a team in Vegas that's made them look ordinary. Well, I think we got to give a little bit more credit to the Vegas Golden Knights.
Belzy, as always, we love having you. Hello Hockey on Saturday, and are you on the Hangout this week?
I'll be there tomorrow.
Okay, perfect stuff. We'll see you then. Thanks so much, buddy.
Always a pleasure, boys.
Shawn Belle checking in on the Oil Country Towing video hotline. So both he and Tom are going with Vegas. So there you go.
I like it.
Yeah. I think it'll be a good series. And if I'm wrong, oh well.
Yeah, it ain't going to affect you.
If it's the worst series ever, oh well. This is the first time since 2023 the Oilers haven't been in the Stanley Cup Final. Right?
Yeah, I guess it is when you put it that way.
We're in the Canadian Brewhouse studio. In about 24 hours and 15 minutes, we are going to be trying the wing flavor of the month in this studio. Maui pineapple, flame-grilled wings tossed in a sweet and tropical Maui pineapple sauce. That's 5 o'clock tomorrow. 5 o'clock today, in about 15 minutes, the debut episode of the Mark Kilam Show. Elks head coach Mark Kilam joining us live to get you ready for the Elks opener in Ottawa on Saturday. We'll get to buying or selling next. For Damon Bunting, here comes the Coop.
The Stanley Cup Final gets going at 6 o'clock tonight. Hurricanes facing the Golden Knights. Carter Hart, the expected starter for Vegas. Frederik Andersen likely to go for Carolina. In other news, the NHL is introducing an international-style 3-on-3 tournament for next year's All-Star Weekend. 5 countries, including a rest of the world team, having Russian players granted permission to play. Additionally, the All-Star Skills Comp is back, limiting the competition to 10 players, all under the age of 25. To the CFL, the Elks have signed national defensive back Tyshawn Blackburn to the practice roster. The former Golden Bear won the Grey Cup with the Argos in 2024. To baseball, the Jays and Braves begin a 3-game set just after 5 o'clock. Kevin Gausman on the mound for Toronto. Bryce Elder countering for the Braves. And there's 4 games underway in the majors right now, all top of the first, including the Tigers up 2-0 on the Rays. The Padres and Phillies runless, with the Marlins and Nationals in that same situation. Out in Victoria, it's the Riverhawks and Harbor Cats with first pitch at 7:35. Listen to the full game right here on EST. This sports update is brought to you by Paramount Flooring. Edmonton is expecting some changes this offseason, and I'm talking about your flooring. Paramount Flooring brings over 30 years of trusted service and expert installation. No permission is needed to speak with them. Visit their showroom, open 7 days a week, or online at paramountflooring.ca. We take a brief pause. In the action, the Reid Wilkins Show returns following the commercial break. I'm Zachary Kubish, keeping you in the loop.
The EST Hangout.
If people think that he had a concussion in the playoffs, or as Frank put it, quote unquote, concussion-like symptoms, you have a medical team. I don't think he would let that fly.
No.
And I don't think TD Forrest would let that fly. I trust that in knowing those guys.
I'm going to believe Bowman more on that one than I am on the report.
The EST Hangout, presented by Sentinel Storage. Weekday mornings 9 to 11, only on Edmonton Sports Talk. Your clear choice for Edmonton sports.
Goodwill is
one shopper, finding something I never knew I needed. A jacket, a deal, one donor, letting go of something so someone else can move forward.
One program participant,
learning,
trying,
building skills,
building confidence,
building a future.
One purchase, one donation,
one job, one choice.
Goodwill is
the power of one, the power of one, the power of one, the power of one.
Goodwill Industries of Alberta. It all starts with one.
Looking for quality building materials and friendly advice? Visit us at Windsor Plywood Leduc, family owned and locally run since 1993. From interior materials for doors, flooring, baseboards, and all the finishing touches to all you need for your outdoor projects like cedar lumber for decks and fences, plus all the plywood you'd need. Our full-time on-staff carpenter can help with anything odd-sized or custom, and from domestic hardwoods to exotic selections, we've got you covered. And if we don't have it, we'll track it down for you. Windsor Plywood Leduc. We're the experts you need to know.
When you bet with Play Alberta, you give back to Alberta. That's because it's the only app in the province that puts all revenue directly back into supporting programs and services that Albertans rely on every day. So next time you place a wager on your favorite team, know that you're also making a difference across the province through Alberta's General Revenue Fund. Visit playalberta.ca/EST to learn more. That's playalberta.ca/EST. Must be 18 plus. If you gamble, use your game sense.
Hey sports fans, I'm Alistair Johnston with Canada Soccer. The biggest sporting event in the world is coming to Canada this summer, and we hope that you're just as excited as we are. It's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, and I can't wait to share it with the whole country.
Sentinel Storage, official storage partner of Canada Soccer.
Ten minutes away from the debut of the Mark Kilam Show here on Edmonton Sports Talk. The Elks head coach will join us every Tuesday during the regular season at 5 p.m. for all your latest Elks storylines. The Elks start the regular season in Ottawa on Saturday. It's a 5 p.m. Mountain Time game, and we continue to have you covered here on EST. On top of all the coverage we're going to have on our talk shows and the Mark Kilam Show, we do have the Green and Gold kickoff show that'll be an hour before every game, so 4 p.m. on Saturday with my buddy Jason Milne and that other guy, Matthew Awanek. And then they're going to be on for an hour, they're going to be on right after the game as well to break down what happened, get your reaction, all the post-game stuff that you need. So we got you covered for all your double E action. Buying or selling is presented by Damon Bunting, a consistent top-producing realtor in the greater Edmonton area for over 18 years. He and his team would love to help you find that right home or make the move from your current home. Community-driven, he understands what it takes to make a difference in our city. Check him out, DamonBunting.com, Instagram handle, Damon Bunting Real Estate.
Okay, so the Norris votes came out today, how the finalists were voted?
Yes.
Correct? Evan Bouchard placed fourth?
Yes. Well, we knew he wasn't in the top three. It's just a matter of where he was going to be, yeah.
Do you think Oilers fans are diving into how those votes were cast and still questioning why Evan Bouchard wasn't a top three finalist?
Well, I mean, I don't know. Like we've known it for a few weeks, right? That he wasn't in the top three.
Mm-hmm.
I think I can't remember what you said. I think I said that I'd be stunned if he wasn't in the top five when the votes came out. So we missed the top three by not a lot, by 63 points, and it was a 10-7-5-3-1 voting system. He did get 12 first place votes. Rasmus Dahlin got 13, McCarr got 47, Werenski got 113. A couple other guys had first place votes. I don't know. What else do you have for me? Like, what else? Do I think Oilers fans are surprised? Well, we knew this.
Do you care? How much
do I care about individual awards? I find them interesting. I think it's important to recognize individual excellence.
Yeah, I saw, you look online and you see reaction. Like, why wasn't this, this person or Evan Bouchard only got this many votes in this category and for this amount?
Right.
I mean, are you seriously sitting here telling me that you think Evan Bouchard is or was the best defenseman in the NHL? Like, we've done this, we've had this conversation. Sure, he put up a lot of points, but he was a defensive liability. Now, the only thing I would suggest or say is that, and really, I don't even think it matters. I think now Evan Bouchard is firmly in place in the next 1 to 2 seasons to win the Norris. Being that this year he was close, he led the NHL in defensive scoring, but he was just too much of a liability defensively. Is that not how you'd see it? Like, if Evan Bouchard has a slightly better defensive year. Maybe not as many glaring gaffes.
Yeah.
And maybe is in the top 3 for defensive scoring.
Then he wins it.
Right.
Again, it's an all-around award. Offensively, he was number 1 because he won the defense scoring race. He won it by a large margin. I'm a little more surprised. Erik Karlsson got 9th in the voting. He didn't get a ton of votes. I thought Matthew Schaefer would have done better than 12th out of the 14 players who got votes, but he did win the Norris Trophy. I think Werenski is a fine pick. I mean, he had an excellent season. Obviously, Rasmus Dahlin wound up in 3rd place, Makar 2nd. I just think, it is interesting sometimes. And look, you guys know I love you. But what do we hear all year? Well, yeah, Bouchard's not that good defensively, and then he doesn't win the Norris, and then we hear from the fans, well, how stupid are the people who are voting?
He's a really good defenseman. Yeah. He's one of the best.
Yeah. I am not one of the voters, right? So.
Right. Okay, another quick buying or selling. I know we got to get out. You just touched on it briefly, but does it bother? Why do NHL players need to be awarded prize money for the All-Star game? They're going there to work. The league's making money off them. They better make some money. Yeah. Well, I guess when you
maybe
put
you're
it
not going to. They don't want people skipping the All-Star weekend. Well, you might if you win this tournament. You might make a little bit more cash.
It's just, I don't know. It's an odd look. You'd think every year it'd be like, yeah, okay, they made the cash, and then they donated it to a local charity.
Then maybe some of them will do that.
Maybe some do.
Yeah. 780-218-9999 River Cree Resort and Casino inbox. Check out
I'm just getting old.
River Cree mobile app. Free to download. Get exclusive offers and promotions. Get show tickets. Make reservations for hotel rooms and restaurants. Safe, secure, and easy to use. RiverCreeResort.com. If you're on YouTube this afternoon, you can post in the Nasty Chat and give us a thumbs up if you have not done so already. We want to get to at least 100 thumbs every show. The Mark Kilam Show coming up after the break.
2 guys and a goalie.
I always find it interesting when a soccer goalie gets beaten 5-hole. Because wasn't the first Canadian goal kind of like I know it's easy for me to say sitting here in the heated studio.
Is a goalie in football scoring 5-hole? Is that the equivalent of like the Michigan?
2 guys and a goalie presented by GS Construction. Tuesday and Thursday afternoons at noon, only on Edmonton Sports Talk. Your clear choice for Edmonton sports.
When you bet with Play Alberta, you give back to Alberta. That's because it's the only app in the province that puts all revenue directly back into supporting programs and services that Albertans rely on every day. So next time you place a wager on your favorite team, know that you're also making a difference across the province through Alberta's General Revenue Fund. Visit playalberta.ca/EST to learn more. That's playalberta.ca/EST. Must be 18 plus. If you gamble, use your game sense.
The Canadian Brewhouse has a happy hour for any scenario. You finished work early? Happy hour. You finished work because you accidentally hit reply all to the entire company? Big happy hour. Your boss said, great job. Happy hour. Your boss said, per my last email. Ugh, emergency happy hour. You finally closed the big deal. Happy hour. With a huge selection of ice cold drinks and great food, the Canadian Brewhouse has a happy hour for whatever just happened at work. The Canadian Brewhouse. Your day just got happier.
It doesn't start on game day. It starts before kickoff, before the first snap, before the noise, before everyone else. This is Edmonton football. The only way to experience it is being there when it happens. Every hit, catch, and touchdown. Season seats, flex packs, groups, single games. There's a way in for everyone. Edmonton Elks. Our city, our year. Get your seats now at goelks.com/tickets.
River Cree Resort and Casino and K97 proudly present Prism and Aldanova. May 29th in the venue. Tickets at rivercreeresort.com.
River Cree Resort and Casino. Excitement. Bet on it. Some of us are walking, others are biking. Together, we are accelerating the pace of MS research breakthroughs. This May, join Sentinel Storage at an MS Walk in your community. Sentinel Storage, proud partner of MS Canada.
Time for a new career in 2026? Or maybe your kid is still pondering their path. Good news! Weiss Johnson is hiring. It's Dennis, and not only are we hiring for heating and air conditioning, we're also looking for experienced plumbers and gas fitters. With the growth in residential development, there's no shortage of opportunities at Weiss Johnson. Choose your path with us. Learn from one of the industry leaders, and we will grow together. Receive great benefits and school reimbursement as well. Visit weiss-johnson.com today.
Stanley Cup Final, Game 1 tonight, 6 o'clock, puck drop, Hurricanes, Golden Knights from Raleigh, Carter Hart, the expected starter for Vegas, Frederik Andersen likely to go for Carolina. In other news, the NHL is introducing an international-style 3-on-3 tournament in next year's All-Star Weekend. A total of 5 teams with Russian players being granted permission to play. Additionally, the All-Star Skills Comp makes a return, limiting the competition to 10 players, all under the age of 25. To the CFL, the Elks, they've signed national defensive back Tyshawn Blackburn to the practice roster. The former Golden Bear won the Grey Cup with the Argos in 2024. In baseball, the Jays and Braves are just about to get underway. The first of 3 total games in their series. Kevin Gausman on the bump for the Birds. Bryce Elder countering for the Braves. And right now, in baseball, 4 games live, top of the second. Tigers up 4-zip on the Rays. Padres, Phillies are runless in bottom first inning. The Orioles are battling the Red Sox, knotted at zeros. For the Riverhawks, they're out in Victoria against the Harbor Cats. First pitch at 7:35. Listen to the full game right here on EST. Find the full broadcast schedule at edmontonsportstalk.com. I'm Zachary Kubish. That was your sports update. Hour 3 of the Reid Wilkins Show starts right now.
All right, hope you're having a great afternoon. We're pleased to debut the Mark Kilam Show presented by the Edmonton Elks. The only way to experience it is being there when it happens. Get your season seats today. Our city, our year. Lock in your season seats at goelks.com/season seats. This will be every Tuesday throughout the Canadian football season. Hopefully it's a long and successful one for the Elks. Here's the head coach, Mark Kilam, checking in. Mark, it's Reid and Jay. How are you doing?
I'm good, guys. How are you doing?
Very well.
Oh, we're doing good, Mark. Thanks again for doing this. I hope you appreciate the custom logo at the bottom of the screen.
I was just going to say, the logo. Look at this logo. Wow.
I mean, you've made it. I'm surprised you're not taking a photo of the screen and saying, look, Ma, I made it.
Oh, I did text my mom just so she could check in.
Good. You're a good son. Yeah. All right. Look, we do something fun every day on our show. It's generally not sports related, but sometimes it is. Our good friends, William Huff, you know them. They're always around Commonwealth Stadium. It's the off-topic topic, okay? So whenever you're on here for the Mark Kilam Show on Tuesdays, we're going to bring it up to you, okay? So today's off-topic topic was a deceased celebrity you wish you could see play or perform live.
Okay. How about Lane Staley was the lead singer of Alice in Chains, and he had this kind of crazy voice. That would be a good one to see live. That'd be awesome.
That's deep. We did get
that's a good one.
We did get a lot of musicians. Who I guess Eddie or sorry. Who was the lead singer of Queen? His name is
Freddie Mercury. Freddie Mercury was brought up, yeah.
Elvis, I said Elvis. I mean, that would be where were you when you saw Elvis? I mean, that would be pretty cool. But I like that. Lane Staley.
That's a good one. And a peek into your musical taste that we may have to dive into on some other show. Mark, thanks for doing this. It's going to be great to have you. And, it's just going to be a bit of a longer form, so we appreciate you being available. People can submit questions, 780-218-9999 or in the Nasty chat. And it gives us an opportunity to dive into the team and talk about other things going around Commonwealth and Edmonton as well. Soccer Canada took over your building. I don't know. I know you're incredibly busy. I don't know if you had any interaction with Jesse Marsh or what do we have here? Okay, what did they leave behind? He's holding up a big Soccer Canada logo.
Yeah, I took that one. They left it in the locker room, so I pulled it down this morning just to check it, just to bring it home.
Oh, so you got some memorabilia because they used the Elks locker room, right? Was there any interaction between your team and their team, or was there just too much going on?
Not with me. I mean, we've been pretty busy, but correct. They took over. So after our preseason game, we came back to change and shower in our locker room, but then we had to remove all of our stuff. So every player had to take out all the stuff out of their lockers, all their personal items. And obviously Dan and them packed up all their equipment, and then Soccer Canada moved in there for 3 days or however long that was. And even when we were game planning yesterday, we're kind of on lockdown in our little hallway right here because they had all these like suites and everything. So there was a lot of security in this building, but they won. So that was good. That was awesome.
Now, did you get to see the crowd there? Like, were you there during the game? Because I know, like Reid said earlier, you work impressive hours as the head coach. Were you there during the game, or were you not allowed?
We kind of tried to sneak out. Some of the staff was still here very late throughout the whole game, but one of the perks as a head coach is once all the game planning stuff is on paper and on the board, I don't have to draw it anymore. So that was the perk. So I tried to sneak out, but most of the staff was still here throughout that.
I just was wondering, because whether you saw it later on the highlights or whether you caught a glimpse of it on your way out of the stadium, there was over 42,000 people there.
Impressive. The rain.
In the rain. I mean, that is dedication. That is something, I mean, surely as I remember as a young guy going, or when I was with the Wildcats working the 50-50 for junior football, you'd see that stadium routinely at 40,000 fans. Is that something that, gives you tingles and makes you think, you know what, if we start putting it together on the field, that could be happening for Elks games?
Yeah, I mean, that's the goal. That's the goal. I mean, we've got to hold up our end of the bargain, though. So that's, that's our focus. It's been our focus here. And it starts, on Saturday night.
All right, Mark, when it comes to putting together this year's team, you got to go through the process of paring down the roster. I've been doing this a while, and I've talked to coaches from the high school, college, junior level, up to guys in the pros. You got to cut players. You got to tell them, hey, all the best, but it's not going to work out with our team this year. How do you do that? That's never. I've talked to guys who's coached 30, 40 years, and they're like, that's the worst part of the job. How do you do that? How do you tell a guy, hey, man, like, we appreciate it, but not right now?
Yeah, it's definitely the worst part of the job, especially because my job is to create, genuine and authentic bonds with these players. And that's always the first step. And you reach out and you spend all that time developing that. And but then, you're straightforward and to the point if it's not going to work out or you're moving in a different direction, because they respect that. You don't, that scene in Moneyball when they cut the athlete and at first he wants to say this big long thing. I mean, that doesn't work. That's not what it is. And that's not what the player wants to hear either. I mean, you want to be straightforward. You want to know, you want to give them the reasons why. And, if you're honest about it and you've been honest and you have that connection with a player, I think they can understand it a lot easier. It's never easy news. It's never something that they want to hear. It's very difficult when you've, either fought for a guy or really developed a guy for a long time, and then you have to give them that news. But it is ultimately part of professional sports, and but you just try to do it in a decent and respectful way.
When the news came out, the release from the Elks came out on Sunday, I was looking through it, and as many Elks fans would probably agree, one name that stuck out was a player like Benjamin Victor, who I thought was taking strides and moving in the right direction. I won't get into the specifics of that, but what I want to ask you is, in releasing a player like that, is that just speaking to the depth at the wide receiver position throughout the moves that were made in the offseason?
Yeah, and I think it speaks to the competition that was in camp at that particular position. I think we talked before, it was the heaviest position, so we had the most players there. We actually did several rounds of cuts to the wide receiver position just because we had so many guys. But Ben Victor's a good player. I mean, Ottawa's already signed him. He did make he had some flashy plays for us, but the guys that are on our football team now were more consistent in their roles and also made plays. And again, one of those hard decisions, we had our day one practice today, and just when you're out there, it feels like there's so fewer players than there was in training camp. It's very difficult to make a professional football team's roster. There isn't a ton of bodies at any position. So, the guys that we kept that ended up winning those spots, I mean, it's a kudos to them. And it was just, it was tough for Ben. We like Ben. I like Vic. I got a good relationship with him. It just, these guys did a little bit more.
Another area of the team that I would say was talked about a lot in the offseason and a lot of players were brought in for this specific unit would be the offensive line. Now, there's been a lot of turnover there. And, I don't know exactly who's going to be starting at center come Saturday, and not sure I'm going to pry that out of you, but that seemed to be the position that had the biggest competition. But when you have new faces in Bordner, Woodmansey, Jordan Murray at the right tackle, I mean, I would even say Carter O'Donnell is still somewhat of a new face because he came in, two-thirds of the way through the season last year. And let's be honest, I mean, that's what this show is about. That the O-line had some tougher games last year. How is the new unit coming together, and what do you expect out of this O-line this year?
I'm really excited about our O-line. Really excited. I mean, you can go back even to preseason one, and you can talk about that BC didn't have all their big guns in there, but there was some really clean pockets to operate from, and that's exciting. And, you spoke about Carter O'Donnell. He was on the right side last year. Now he's on the left side. So it is newer for him. But, as you guys know, your offensive line, they have to play as one. And a big part of that is communication. A big part of that is getting used to how the person plays beside you. But we're really excited for that. The competition, the guys. I won't give you the answer to what you said, but the guys that were in the big competition, just the best professionals that we could have asked for. I mean, they didn't. We told them way back in January or February or whenever that was, and they both came in ready to play. They both had good training camps. We did this like massive algorithm, basically, I call it, to handle the repetitions and have, to try to make it as even as we could. And those guys did a great job with it. And, it wasn't a distraction. They just came and worked, and just full credit to both Cordy and Beardo for the way that they handled that.
All right. Yeah, that's a big storyline. And I guess we'll keep an eye on the depth chart later this week. I have an O-line question as well, but I'm going to tie it into your running back. And Mark, look, of course I know players always try to perform to their peak. But I'm just wondering, if you're an O-lineman for Justin Rankin, like, it's got to create a great mentality. Like, I would think where a lineman could be like, if I can do something for an extra 1/10 of a second to give him a hole, or maybe I don't have to fully block this guy. If I could just a little bit, like Rank will find the room, right? Like, can he just? It just seems a running back of his ability can help the O-line look better, and then the O-line can know, like, we can never give up on a play because Rankin might be able to make an explosive play.
Yeah, I mean, guys like Rank, first of all, they make your blocking schemes better. They make your, they raise the level of the talent around them. It's just like good returners on special teams, very similar. But, O-linemen love to get after people up front. That's what they love to do. Run block, get after people, put a hat on a hat, grind people downfield. That's what they want to do. So, when they know that the guy behind them, if they can just, if we can fit up whatever look they were seeing and maybe, finish to the touchdown shoulder, this guy's going to find the crease and find the space and make teams pay. And that's exciting as an offensive lineman. It's very similar to, like I said, in the return game, when you've got a guy like Javon Leake, who is a game breaker, you want to do your best job. You want to make sure you're, playing with effort and playing with techniques and penalty-free techniques to keep your plays on the board, because you can create explosive plays, and that's an exciting position to be in.
I wanted to go to the other side of the ball now, because that was also an area that last year was a bit in flux, and that was injury related as well. But one of the biggest acquisitions this offseason was Malik Carney. I just want to know, what have you thought of him throughout training camp? How has that come together as a unit, bringing in, one of the best top pass rushers in the CFL?
Yeah, I mean, as advertised, really pleased with Scoop's camp. I mean, practiced every day, didn't take any days off. He's physical, wants to put hands on people. He's got that leadership quality that you want out of your defensive line. That, those are they're supposed to be some of the biggest, baddest dudes on your football team, and that's what he is. And I just really appreciate the element that he's brought into the room. He in meetings, so I sat in a couple of those D-line meetings early in camp. I tried to spread myself out and hit a different meeting every day. And he's coaching the young guys on things that he's seen, and he was never afraid to help younger players or rookies share his understanding of concepts and what the offense is trying to do. And that's the type of vets that you want in the room, because it's not that he's pretty established and set in his role, but there is times where guys, that guy could be taking your job, but that's not the vets that we have on this football team. And just Scoop was a guy that he tried to bring everybody along and try to raise that room. And, that's why, one of the reasons why we brought him in, let alone he's an impact player on defense. And, we're excited to let him go and get after people for real, more than 2 series or whatever he got in the last preseason game.
Okay, I have another question about the defensive line, but I got to interject here. Scoop? Is this
Scoop, that's his nickname, Scoop.
Okay, what now? I mean, this could go on probably far too long, Mark. But where does the Nick did he come into camp and say, "Look, guys, I'm Scoop," or is this did he scoop and score? Does he like ice cream? How does this nickname of Scoop
ice cream?
How does this come about?
I don't actually know where he got it from. I mean, when I was introduced to him in the free agent process, that's what I was introduced to him as. So I mean. I don't know where it came from. We're going to have to ask him, but it could be ice cream. I'm not sure.
Well, I'm gonna put that in my notes, Mark. I'm gonna have to ask him.
When he scores a touchdown against Ottawa this weekend, he's on our show Monday. And
yeah,
we'll ask him.
absolutely. Yeah. Where did Scoop come from? Look, last year, and I alluded to this earlier, but due to injury on the defensive line, I thought it was a not a blessing in disguise, but it forced your team defensively, especially on the defensive line, to rotate through and get guys moving in. And whether that was, hey, JC Sherritt's coming into his own as the DC and kind of finding out about this group week by week, getting better and better. But there's no question that defense improved as the season went on. The defensive line also improved. And there were a lot of unknown names, or relatively unknown names, that came in and were pressed into action. And with that rotation going, keeping bodies fresh, it seemed to work out and pay dividends. Is that is that something that the Elks will use this year? Is more of a by committee approach on the defensive line?
Yeah, I mean, I think good defenses start on the defensive line without a doubt. It makes everything behind them better. You can get the quarterback off his spot. You don't have to cover as long or cover as well. Those are things that go hand in hand. But to your point, I think it was a combination of the coaching staff evolving. I thought it was a combination of good players were brought in by the personnel department, so that when they had opportunities, they could take advantage of them, as well as getting developed by the coaching staff. But it's one of those things where you never want injuries to happen, but they do happen in professional football. I mean, very something similar happened in our secondary with Royce. We had to shuffle guys around, a free safety and a Sam, and that ended up making them more versatile and having a greater understanding of the defensive concepts, which made the defense better. You know, you find like the nuance of executing the defense. I say it all the time, but there's a difference of knowing what to do versus knowing how to play. You know, you can look at a piece of paper and the scheme and be like, oh, that's what I'm supposed to do. But actually executing that scheme and the nuance that goes with it, depending on the look that you're getting, or, you know, the release by the receiver, or flip side, if I'm on offense, you know, how am I playing this concept versus that defense? I mean, that's the 201 level of football. And, you know, when you're forced to shuffle around like that, it forces you to learn in a hurry. And I think that you're right. We did benefit from that, and hopefully we see that this year with those guys.
Mark Kilam Show, presented by the Edmonton Elks here on Edmonton Sports Talk. All right, so it's horrible weather outside. Like it's raining a lot. Your philosophy towards practicing in the rain or using the field house?
We've never been in the field house, so football's played outside. That's what we believe in. I mean, you know, the Grey Cup's in November, so it's probably not going to be ideal. Play outside.
I think a lot of people are happy to hear that answer. You know, get out there in the conditions and do it. So that's good to hear. So you would there be a threshold like minus 40 where you might move it inside? Oh, smoke, of course, yeah.
Yeah, because we'd have to, because there's a PA thing rule, on smoke.
Okay.
So we're very fortunate we have the field house, but I mean, there's so much that you can get out of practicing in the elements. Like, okay, you know, it was wet today. Well, you know, am I doing that extra little bit as a receiver to make sure I look in and secure the football? You know, as a returner, you know, as a specialist dealing with, you know, a wet ball. I mean, all those things are important, and you know, we don't know what it's going to be like on game day ever. So, I mean, it's important to learn that about yourself and learn that about your offense and defense, especially so that you can operate in those conditions.
Mark, I wanted to ask you about Rick Campbell, who was brought in as a coaching analyst, I guess was the title that was given, whether or not that aptly describes what he does around there. But, you know, from what I gathered, or you know, what I was able to look at it and see is he's helping you out in the scouting process in terms of the offense. So, you know, can you expand on a little bit more of what a week looks like for Rick Campbell now, given that there's only preseason film, and then moving forward throughout the season?
Yeah, I think as we get into the season, there'll be more and more things because there'll be more film to analyze. And you know how it is in preseason, no one really shows anything anyway. So Rick's duties, so one of the primary jobs that Rick is going to do, first of all, it's net positive having him in the building. He's a lifelong CFL football person. He's got experience on all three sides of the ball. He's been a head coach for 11 years or something in a couple different franchises. So he has a lot of experience that he can apply on all areas of the football team. Okay, his primary job, he's going to be working as like a pre-scout for the offense from a defensive perspective. Like, this is what they're trying to do. Here's what I see coverage-wise. Here's tendency breakdown. So that when they do get to game planning, he presents them with this information and it puts them that far ahead. So we have someone similar, Anthony Vitale, who does that. He was a former O-line guy. He does that for our defense. So he looks at the offense that we're going to play in a week and conceptually breaks it down. This is what they're trying to accomplish. So you can think about how we get that information and then we can attack it from the other side of the ball. So that's what we're trying to do. Specifically protections, that kind of stuff. So that's what we look at. He's also going to break down, once we start playing games, this is a project for me, he's going to look at all the critical decisions that were made league-wide. So all the decisions in clock management in the final 3 minutes, you know, challenges, all that kind of stuff, and present that to me so that we can use that and coach off that to make our processes better. So it's you know, and he works with, you know, during practice, he's working with the returners, he's working with all over the place because he has experience that way. And, you know, like I said before, I think it's net positive You have, CFL people that have spent their lives in the CFL. There's a lot of nuance that they've learned over the years, and bringing someone like that into the building is only going to make us better.
All right, a couple more for you here. Once again, we appreciate your time. We appreciate you doing this. The Mark Kilam Show, brought to you by the Edmonton Elks here on the Reid Wilkins Show. I got to ask you a question about the starting quarterback that you're going to be facing this week, but I need to ask you a pre-question. And this might have to go for this entire season when you're joining us on Tuesdays at 5:00. Is I want to ask you about Jake Maier, but he was a quarterback that you would have been on the same staff, or you would have been on the staff that coached him. Now, do I refer to them as the red team? Do I refer to them as the team down Highway 2? Like, how do you want me to be able to discuss the team down in Southern Alberta? Like, would you just like us to go with red team?
I'm good with the red team. Let's just call them the red team.
Okay, I we'll get that out of the way. There'll be the green team. There'll be the black team. No, but the red team for certain. Okay, so obviously I'm talking about Jake Maier, who was a quarterback for 3 seasons while you were a member of the red team as well. Is JC Sherritt coming down the hallway to your door and saying, "Hey, what do you got? What do you know?"
Yeah, I mean, there were some conversations, but I mean, Jake's been in a similar offense his entire time in the CFL, right? Calgary's offense, Saskatchewan's offense has a lot of similarities with that, and now Ottawa's offense, Dinwiddie was there. So Dinwiddie was his quarterback coach for the red team back in the day. So, and Mark Mueller was on that staff as well. So, I mean, there's a lot of similarities between those offenses. So, I mean, he's got a lot of experience in it. And I mean, he looked really sharp in the preseason. He looked really sharp. He moved the ball. He knew where to go with it. He gets it out. He's accurate. So, I mean, and for Ryan to come out right away and say this is our starting quarterback before they even played the second preseason, I'm sure he was doing the same thing in practice. So, I think he sat behind Trevor last year in Sask, which was probably great for him, watching a guy like Trevor Harris as far as how he prepares and that kind of stuff. And now he's ready to be the guy again. So, Dinwiddie, he runs a great offense. He played that position quarterback as well. So he's got, a good, coaching, the way the style that he coaches with his quarterbacks, he always gets the most out of them. So, we're going to have our hands full with it for sure.
Well, and that would be my last question is Ryan Dinwiddie, who you also coached with on the red team. Is there, you could say no comment if you want. I'll totally understand. But is there tendencies that about other teams and specifically their head coaches, the people that are calling the plays, that you could say, okay, we should probably expect this, especially going into week 1 of the regular season?
Well, I think, you've got all those years of tape of him in Toronto. Everyone kind of has their things that they like, and I think that's something that you can certainly lean on. But, coaches in a 9-team league do a good job of trying to break tendencies because you play the same team so many times. So you have to do some of that stuff. But, week 1, there's always going to be unknowns. Like I said, nobody shows anything in the preseason. And, you don't really know how good you can be or where you're going to need to improve on until you get into it, honestly, because if you just look at our football team, I mean, we were playing so many different people and, obviously we're practicing our plays and our concepts that we want to run, but until you actually see them live in a real game, that's when you can find out about it. But, we're going to have to do a great job adjusting on the fly in Ottawa. I think that's going to be really important because there's going to be something that we haven't seen on all 3 phases, and it's on the coaches and the players to communicate together and make the necessary adjustments.
Yeah. Well, we look forward to it, Mark. I thought there were some really great stories through camp and the 2 preseason games. I know I'm not going to ask you the question, but I'll give the stat again. I know you weren't here for all those, but the Double E have 3 wins in the last 4 Junes and Julys combined. So I know you're focusing on changing that and building a strong season, and I hope that good start starts on Saturday against the Ottawa Red Blacks. Thanks for doing this, the first of many Mark Kilam shows. Have a great game on Saturday.
Appreciate it, guys. Thank you.
Mark Kilam checking in, coach of the Edmonton Elks, and of course that segment presented by the Edmonton Elks. A lot to take out of that. You asked a great question about cutting Benjamin Victor, who looked like he might be a up-and-coming receiver. Other receivers brought in. Was it Fajardo a couple weeks ago who said Ed Hervey has a type?
Yep.
Big-bodied receivers. Not that Victor wasn't. The O-line battle, the center battle with two former Golden Bears who came after you at the program, David Beard and Mark Cordy. One of those guys will get the start. The D line, like the one thing you've learned about me, maybe the most thing you've learned about me over the last 2 years.
This is
the D lineman. Get a sack.
Yes.
Like sacks prevent touchdowns.
Well, and specifically in the CFL.
Right. You get a sack on first down. It's at least 2nd and 13. It's probably 2nd and 15 or longer.
Yeah, it's
tougher. Get a sack on second down, they're kicking. Maybe they're kicking a field goal, but they're kicking. So I hope Carney can be that guy with a rotation that keeps the guys fresh. And I love that they won't practice. He's not going inside to practice.
Old school, baby.
Yeah.
Well, but Reid, when you think of that, it's like, well, what are we doing here? Do you think it's just always going to be sunshine and lollipops in every game that you play in?
Yeah.
There's only one covered stadium, or the potential of one in this league.
BC now, right?
Yeah.
He's the only one. Yeah.
So you're going to have to play in the elements at some point. You might as well practice like it.
Yeah.
No, I thought that was fantastic. I like what he said about Rick Campbell's role moving forward, in that, especially the situational moves that are made throughout the league.
Right. Not
Not only in the games the Elks are involved with, but, what did Mike O'Shea do on third down there? When did he use his challenge? What time, what are they using their timeouts on, and when? To find out what is the best outcome based on the all of the options that you have. I really think that's going to pay dividends. And because he's been around the CFL a long time.
Yeah.
He knows a lot. No, I thought that was great, Reid.
Yeah, we're going to have Mark every Tuesday, 5 o'clock, the Mark Kilam Show, as part of the Reid Wilkins Show here on Edmonton Sports Talk, which is presented by Play Alberta Field, or by Play Alberta. Play Alberta Field is the field at Commonwealth Stadium. Go to playalberta.ca/EST to learn more. Jay's Play of the Day is up under EST Specials on the Play Alberta app and playalberta.ca. All right, we're rolling into the final half hour. More from you, 780-218-9999. Post in the nasty chat on YouTube. We need about a dozen thumbs, by the way, to get to 100 thumbs on YouTube. So if you've not yet given us the thumbs up, please do so. Here's the one and only Zachary Kubish.
The Jays and Braves are underway. Game one of their 3-game series from Atlanta. End of the first. The Braves with a 2-0 lead on Toronto. It's Dalton Varsho up to bat, starting the top of the second there for the Jays. A handful of other games are live around the majors. Bottom third, Rays trailing the Tigers 5-0. Top of the third, the Orioles and Red Sox tied at 1 aside. As for the Riverhawks, they're out in Victoria against the Harbor Cats. First pitch at 7:35. Listen to the full game right here on EST. Find the full schedule at edmontonsportstalk.com. And the Stanley Cup Final opens 6 o'clock. Puck drop between the Hurricanes and Golden Knights. Carolina with just one loss in these playoffs. Vegas with 12-4 record en route to these finals. Carter Hart, the expected starter for Vegas. Frederik Andersen likely to go for Carolina. In other news, the NHL is introducing an international style 3-on-3 tournament next year at the All-Star Games. Total of 5 teams. Russian players being granted permission to participate. Additionally, the All-Stars skills comp returns, limiting the competition to 10 players under the age of 25. For the Elks, they've signed national defensive back Tyshawn Blackburn to the practice roster. The former Golden Bear won the Grey Cup with the Argos in 2024. This sports update is brought to you by the Ranch Golf Club. The Ranch delivers premier conditions, top-notch service, and unmatched value every round. It's why they're Alberta's top choice for corporate golf events. Visit theranchgolf.com today to find out more. Reid Wilkins, Jay Milne continue the Reid Wilkins Show up next here on Edmonton Sports Talk. I'm Zachary Kubish, and you're up to date.
one shopper. Finding something I never knew I needed. A jacket. A deal. One donor. Letting go of something so someone else can move forward.
One program participant.
Learning.
Trying.
Building skills.
Building confidence.
Building a future.
One purchase. One donation.
One job. One choice.
Goodwill is
The power of one. The power of one. The power of one.
The power of one.
Goodwill Industries of Alberta. It all starts with one.
The Oil Stream.
I think this will be a rare case within the NHL in the next few years where you see a good trade that benefits both teams. That's where I'm leaning towards still, because I know as an Oilers fans right now, they're looking at this, and it's all the uproar on Twitter right now is how do you let this happen? I still am big on Ike Howard.
The Oil Stream, presented by Boston Pizza. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday afternoons at noon, only on Edmonton Sports Talk. Your clear choice for Edmonton sports.
When you bet with Play Alberta, you give back to Alberta. That's because it's the only app in the province that puts all revenue directly back into supporting programs and services that Albertans rely on every day. So next time you place a wager on your favorite team, know that you're also making a difference across the province through Alberta's General Revenue Fund. Visit playalberta.ca/EST to learn more. That's playalberta.ca/EST. Must be 18 plus. If you gamble, use your game sense.
It's the weekend. The sun is out, and everyone, yes, even the kids, are bored. Bring them to the Canadian Brewhouse. Our patios have games to keep the whole family going. Rooftop views, real turf to run around on, and misters for when the summer gets serious. Oh, and we've still got the game on. Always. All day, all weekend, all summer. The Canadian Brewhouse, Canada's best patios.
Looking for quality building materials and friendly advice? Visit us at Windsor Plywood Leduc, family owned and locally run since 1993. From interior materials for doors, flooring, baseboards, and all the finishing touches to all you need for your outdoor projects like cedar lumber for decks and fences, plus all the plywood you'd need. Our full-time on-staff carpenter can help with anything odd-sized or custom, and from domestic hardwoods to exotic selections, we've got you covered. And if we don't have it, we'll track it down for you. Windsor Plywood Leduc. We're the experts you need to know. They'd have to defend me, even though I'm a defensive player, right? Like, because
we're back.
The explosion.
Well, the explosion. They just don't know, Reid.
Big
Uke.
Uke.
You see it in person.
Big Uke in the Nasty Chat. Great segment. Stoked that will be weekly. Yeah, we're proud to have Mark Kilam on the show with the Mark Kilam Show. Les says, Coach, such a beauty. Mark Kilam, the one thing, look, he's got to win, right? I think last year, I mean, they were 7-11. There were some promising signs. I think there's more pressure on him this year to be a good team. The one thing I appreciate about Mark, though, he's not afraid to show some personality. Mm-hmm. Like, he actually answered our off-topic topic. He'll smile when he answers a question. He's not like, well, we have to try hard.
I think that's because he's excited to be there.
Yeah.
He's excited to be in the role that he has. It would be a bit of a dream job, I would imagine. And he's put in the work. He's put in the time.
You know what we're going to have to do probably on Thursday? We're going to have to do our CFL predictions.
Oh.
We did Stanley Cup Final predictions yesterday. Are we going to do an NBA Finals prediction tomorrow?
We have to.
Yeah. I'm not as... I'm obviously not as schooled in the NBA, but I know enough of the storyline. And not, well, it's just two teams. We're not doing the whole playoffs. So
you know what we should do?
And then we'll do our CFL picks.
We should find somebody local that...
Oh, I already have. Somebody's booked for
Well, you couldn't have possibly found somebody that's a Knicks fan and covers professional basketball.
Yeah, he's booked for 5:20 tomorrow. He's already booked.
Reid.
Luke Gazdick on the show tomorrow.
Woo.
Wagon Wednesday tomorrow. And are we trying wings tomorrow?
We are.
Are we having Wing Wednesday now too? Just because we can? Well, not every... The start of the month, we're going to do the Canadian Brewhouse wing flavor.
Trust me, if
Maui
it was up
pineapple.
to Pat, he would probably do it every Wednesday.
He would just send us wings. Just be like, hey, there's wings in the mail.
Yeah.
Get an Amazon package. The June flavor of the month at the Canadian Brewhouse. We're in the Canadian Brewhouse studio. Maui pineapple. Here's the description. Flame grilled wings tossed in a sweet and tropical Maui pineapple sauce. I'll try it. No, they got some work to do because last month's
really good
roasted jalapeno poblano, I wish they would keep those. But hey, maybe these will be even better. So that's all coming up. Mark Kilam Show every Tuesday. So yeah, tomorrow we'll break down Game 1 of the Cup Final. We'll preview the NBA Finals. We got Wagon Wednesday for the World Professional Chuck Wagon Association. We'll do the wings. We're going to probably get Jed on at some point this week to tee up the start of the CFL season. We'll probably do some other CFL angle before the end of the week. We'll keep talking about the Stanley Cup Final. Any other local stuff that's going on. We'll have our Past the Pantry Athlete of the Week. Like this, I love this show. Now, you know what people are saying? Well, you're biased, Reid. You're the host. Yes, thank you for pointing out the obvious. But I do seriously love it.
It is fun. And a WPCA Wagon Wednesday note.
Okay.
Aubrey Matawalo defended his title at the Grand Prairie Stampede last week.
Oh, nice. Okay. This will be fun for me following the Chucks again.
Well, it's a little bit of a throwback.
A little bit of a throwback, yeah.
Isn't that how you, what would they say, cut your teeth in broadcasting?
Yeah, I guess was getting into the Chucks. Yeah, and then so I covered mostly the Canadian Professional Association.
Now, is covering the Chuck Wagons as glamorous as it looks at the Calgary Stampede?
Yes.
It is?
I don't know. Does it look glamorous?
Well, they've got a nice... I'm
the Stampede's the Super Bowl of the Chucks, right? So everything's glitzed up.
Well, from what I saw of the races at the Stampede up at Grand Prairie, beautiful grounds they have there.
Yeah, it's a great sport. And I mean, I kind of like bringing it to people because it's pretty high caliber sport, which is nice. Les says, if the morning show can have a beer of the week, can you guys have a wing of the week? TBD, brah.
Yes.
I mean, well, if the Canadian Brewhouse brings it in, we're not going to stop them. If they just brought in if they feed us wings, we're not going to be like, oh, we had wings last week. I'm not sure. I think we'd be okay with that. It may sort of be a informally formal thing to do the wings, probably. Would that be a fair way to describe it?
Yes.
Yeah. Because the Brewhouse is on board anyway.
Great partners.
Yeah.
The official home of Canada Soccer, by the way, during the World Cup. Canadian Brewhouse.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, nice. I didn't even know that.
I believe so.
That's cool.
At least in Edmonton. At least that's what Pat likes to say. Well, we'll go with it.
What's stopping him from saying that? Yeah, World Cup starts, on the 11th? Canada's first game's on the 12th. So Wanik he's going to one of the games. He's not going to the game in Toronto, but he's not working that day. Did you know this? Did we talk about this on air?
No. I don't. Hey, man, this is his... You want to talk about Super Bowls? This is it for him.
Yeah, it's just I thought why not work? Like I think the game's at 1. Why not work? We're all here together. We can share together.
I think he's like, no, I can't. Nervous.
Yeah, and he's like, I don't want to have a computer fail, and I got to go look at it. I'm like, we're just all sharing it together. No one's going to ask you to go do your job.
Well, maybe he can still come here, just not work.
No, he's not. I think he needs to be locked in a room somewhere, some underground vault. Like what's somewhere in Edmonton what's the most secluded? We can put him inside the Talus balls. That always comes up where we wanted Edmonton.
Sure.
Where's Awanak? He's watching the game inside the Talus balls.
They should have good reception.
Stuck. Yeah. It's like a giant antenna.
Yeah.
A big round antenna.
Like you're in an antenna. Could lock him in the old Rexall place. Not much happening there yet.
Oh yeah, we could put it on the scoreboard. Could fire up the old scoreboard. If that would work.
What is going on with that place? My dad and I were just talking about that.
I think they're going to take it down.
Yeah, but isn't the cost of it like astronomical?
It's in the millions. I don't know what it is.
Why don't they just throw a, kaboom?
Well, you still got to get the rubble out of there.
Yeah, but then just hire up, get some bobcats in there and some.
Well, maybe that's what they're going to do. I don't know.
Some dump trucks.
I wonder what will happen. Like, could you build a neighborhood there or some businesses? I don't know.
I guess prime. It's prime real estate in terms of
75th
proximity.
and 118th Ave.
Well,
or Wayne Gretzky Drive. Sorry.
What I'm saying for prime is it's directly beside a LRT hub.
Well, that's true. Yeah,
right.
There is the rail right there. Yeah, I can't remember the exact cost. I think it's a lot. 780-218-9999 River Cree Resort and Casino inbox. Email Reid at EdmontonSportsTalk.com, Jay at EdmontonSportsTalk.com. And if you're taking us in on YouTube and you've not already subscribed to EST, please do so. We are over 15,000 subscribers, which is awesome. We need 11 thumbs. So if you haven't clicked the thumbs up, get in there and do so pronto. Coob, I need my volume. Somebody give me volume.
Click, 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 click. Must you click? Please, please click. Must you click?
I didn't
You
do
must, you must click. Thumb, thumb, thumb.
Hockey game coming up. What are the Blue Jays doing? We didn't
2-0.
2-0 for
Atlanta.
Okay. Well, they got time to come back.
The Braves?
The Braves. That's the last I checked, anyways.
Yeah.
I didn't want to have.
What was their pitching staff? Maddox, Smoltz, before he became a closer. Maddox, Smoltz, Glavin,
yeah,
and Avery. Those were the four guys that were really good.
Mm-hmm. There's a really good video out
Avery
on
was
YouTube
the one who was also a hockey player
of Barry Bonds and Greg Maddox breaking down one of the most just long and aggressive at bats.
Yeah,
between them when they were both at their best. Fantastic.
Yeah, it's interesting. You know what? I saw a video on it. Like I kind of knew it was happening, but I didn't know as much about it because now the catchers do not flash the fingers, right? It started like 3 or 4 years. Was it PitchCom? They have a console on their wrist, and then the pitcher hears sort of he's got a little speaker in his.
I wonder what the sound
is. It's the robot like fastball. Low outside. I think that's what. Yes, and a couple fielders are allowed to wear it as well.
Why wouldn't they just have the pitcher choose their voice? Like, say, I want Barry Manilow.
Well, you'd have to get him to record all those pitches.
Outside.
The Bond villain. Yeah.
Or the Bond villain.
Yeah.
Or the bookbinder.
Fastball low and away, Mr. Bond. You'll chase this one hopelessly.
That would be better.
Perhaps fouling it off, but more likely. I set you up for a change-up inside. I've said too much. Yeah,
the Bond villain would be fired.
Bats for everybody. Yeah, it's on the PA. he can't help but advertise his plan. Okay, we better take our final time out here, and then our words of the day to take you home for the Edmonton Public Library.
End of the second Jays Braves game 1 of their 3-game series. It's knotted at 2 aside. Tons of action around the majors. It's the Jays next up to bat. Brandon Valenzuela next to go in the lineup. Midway through the 4th, Tigers, they're up 5-0 on the Rays. At that same time, the Phillies trail the Padres 2-0, and the Orioles lead the Red Sox 3-1 in the top of the 4th inning. The Stanley Cup Final, that goes tonight. 6 o'clock, Park Drop Hurricanes. Golden Knights, Carter Hart, the expected starter for Vegas. Frederick Anderson likely to go for Carolina. In other news, the NHL, they're introducing an international-style 3-on-3 tournament in next year's All-Star Weekend. A total of 5 teams with Russian players being granted permission to play. To the CFL, the Elks, they've signed national defensive back Tyshawn Blackburn to the practice roster. The former Golden Bear won the Grey Cup with the Argos in 2024. And today's injury report for the Elks, Brett Boyko did not practice with a hand issue, while Joe Robustelli sat out with a hamstring injury. For the Riverhawks, they're out in Victoria against the Harbor Cats. First pitch at 7:35. Listen to the full game right here on EST. Find the full schedule at edmontonsportstalk.com. This sports update is brought to you by Say the Reid Sport Medicine. Connor McDavid's got a team of specialists, and you've got a bag of frozen peas. Get the same locker room approach that's trusted by the best in the game. Call them at 780-460-9977 or visit their website at saythereidsportmed.ca to book an appointment today. Words of the day, Edmonton Public Library up next here on the Reid Wilkins Show. I'm Zachary Kubish, and you're up to date.
EST Afternoons.
Rob Williams from the Daily Hive. If you listen to the fan base on radio shows and tweet and all of that, it seems like Manny Malhotra was the guy everybody wanted in Vancouver.
I know just locally here, there were no discussions about other coaches. We didn't do any listicles about 10 coaches the Canucks could hire. It was Manny Malhotra the whole way. Quite frankly, they should have picked him over
EST Afternoons, weekday afternoons 1 to 3, only on Edmonton Sports Talk. Your clear choice for Edmonton sports.
At Firehouse Subs, our subs are freshly toasted, stacked high, and crafted to satisfy. Each sub is piled high with premium meats, melty cheese, and toasted to perfection. Firehouse Subs brings bold flavor to every bite, all served on a freshly toasted roll. But we're not just feeding Edmonton, we're fueling it. Dig into the brisket hat trick, piled with slow-smoked brisket and melty cheese. Or go to the Firehouse Subs fan favorite, the Hook and Ladder. Made to order with smoked turkey, honey ham, and Monterey Jack cheese on a perfectly toasted roll. With 15 Firehouse Sub locations across Edmonton and the greater area, it's easy to grab a hot and hearty sub close to home. Firehouse Subs. Hot, hearty, made to satisfy.
River Cree Resort and Casino and K97 proudly present Prism and Aldanova. May 29th in the venue. Tickets at rivercreeresort.com.
River Cree Resort and Casino. Excitement. Bet on it.
Hi there. If you're like me, you like to picture yourself in luxury, even though there's absolutely no way you could afford it. And if you can, well, even better. Thankfully, I picture myself in something that is luxury, but still absolutely affordable, like the all-new Mazda CX-90 from Park Mazda. With the new luxury features like facial recognition settings and quilted detail Napa leather seating, I can pretend to be comfortable with all of my proper settings activated without even touching a button, thanks to Mitch Lewicki and the great staff at Park Mazda. I like to picture Mitch Lewicki as a ninja fighting off evil samurai.
Park Mazda, your dealer for life in Sherwood Park off Y Road, parkmazda.ca.
Your brand deserves more than just a whisper, it deserves a buzz. At the Hive Product Marketing, they specialize in promotional products that bring the buzz. From eye-catching giveaways to unforgettable keepsakes, they got the perfect products to make your brand stand out and get noticed. Visit the Hive Product Marketing and let them create the buzz your business deserves. The Hive Product Marketing, the official merch partner of Edmonton Sports Talk. Visit them online at thehiveproductmarketing.com.
Looking for a winning strategy for your retirement? Contact me, Joaquin Gage at K4 Financial, where expertise meets dedication. I will always look for a careful approach to your retirement, ensuring your financial future is secure. From tailored strategies to clear, actionable advice, I'm here to guide you every step of the way. Don't leave your future to chance. Get in touch with me, Joaquin Gage, today at k4financial.ca or email joaquin.gage@k4financial.ca to start planning for a brighter future and a more secure retirement.
All right, game one tonight. Hurricanes hosting the Golden Knights, the Stanley Cup Final. We'll have a breakdown tomorrow with Luke Gazdick from Sportsnet. Always great to have him on EST. Of course, Edmonton Sports Talk is presented by Play Alberta. Go to playalberta.ca/EST. Words of the day, presented by Edmonton Public Library. Your free EPL library card can do more than you might expect, from books, movies, and video games to digital resources, creative spaces, and learning opportunities. There's something for everyone across Edmonton. Sign up online at epl.ca/signup. Or visit any of EPL's 21 locations to get started today.
The word of the day with Reid and Jay.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I break your concentration?
What do they got to say?
Say what again? Say what again? I dare you.
Let's find out.
English, do you speak it? Then you know what I'm saying.
All right, I did quite poorly yesterday, so nowhere to go but up.
This is from Less Sweet, regular contributor. These are Archaic Words series Part 2.
Oh, my goodness. Okay.
Tradespeople edition. Okay?
All right.
First word, cordwainer. Cordwainer.
Cordwainer. That is quite the word.
I feel like you're going to get slipped up on this, but maybe not. Cordwainer.
I've never heard this word. I'm struggling to even guess at how to spell it. All right, I'll take a stab at it. Well, no.
Leave the, I'll just let you do it.
CHORDWAINER. Like, I don't know, does it start with a K?
No, it's C-O-R-D.
Oh, there's no H-K.
W-A-I-N-E-R.
Oh, yeah, that's what I had written down. I just didn't say the I.
Oh,
so
Reid.
I was close. I was actually quite close.
Cordwainer.
Cordwainer. This is... This is a tailor's assistant.
Oh!
I just randomly guessed.
I'll give you a sentence. The cordwainer scoffed at the young man who asked him to cobble his old shoes.
Oh. So, someone who... a shoe repairman. I actually was in a very general ballpark.
You were very close.
Okay.
Cordwainer is a shoemaker who specializes in making new shoes / boots, in contrast to a cobbler who does repairs.
Oh, okay. All right.
Second word of the day. This is the Archaic Word Series Part 2, Tradespeople Edition. Bibliopagist. Bibliopagist.
Bibliopagist.
Bibliopagist.
Bibliopogist. Sorry.
So close. So close.
Okay.
Bibliopegist.
Oh, no way. Bibliopagist. Okay. And
You've met this person.
This has to do with books. This has to do with books because biblio.
Yeah, you've met a bibliopagist.
Is this a librarian?
No.
Oh. Is this a bookbinder?
I didn't get in quite in time, Jason Milne. I was hoping to help Mr. Wilkins. Of course, I have my degree in bibliopagy from Cambridge University.
Wow.
But then I came back to Edmonton to bind books for the enjoyment of others.
Okay, bookbinder, we got to go. Plenty coming up tomorrow. Live programming resumes at 6 a.m. with the Nielsen Show. Nielsen's on it. He'll be back at some point. Evan, Zachary Kubish, and Jason Milne. I'm Reid Wilkins. Enjoy Game 1 of the Cup Final.